Activate receiving mode. Right now, before another thought forms, before another doubt tries to whisper its old familiar story, activate receiving mode and feel what that truly means. Because this moment is not just the beginning of an audiobook, it is the beginning of a conscious relationship with the law of attraction, with manifestation, with the unseen forces that respond to your vibration, your affirmations, your gratitude, your expectation of wealth, success, abundance, and the reality you are ready to call in. This is where you shift from chasing to attracting, from forcing to allowing, from hoping to knowing. And as you breathe in, you begin to sense that manifestation is not about begging the universe. It is about aligning with it, not about wishing harder, but about becoming energetically available to what you have already asked for. And as that awareness settles into you, something softens, because you realize that every desire you have ever felt, the desire for financial freedom, meaningful success, loving relationships, confidence, opportunity, was not random. It was guidance. It was contrast shaping clarity. It was the universe responding to your expansion. And in that realization, gratitude begins to bloom, not forced gratitude, but the kind that feels like warmth spreading through your chest. Because if the desire exists within you, then the path to its fulfillment must also exist. And the law of attraction is already responding to the frequency you emit in every quiet thought and every repeated affirmation. And as you lean deeper into this unfolding understanding, you begin to sense the path ahead, because this audiobook is divided into two powerful movements that flow seamlessly together. In the first, you will explore things that we know, that you may have forgotten, which are important for you to remember, truths about who you are, how energy works, and how your vibration shapes your reality. And in the second, you will be guided through 22 manifestation practices designed to help you attract your dream job, a loving partner, massive wealth, and the extraordinary life you have been quietly envisioning. So you begin to understand that manifestation practices are not rituals of superstition. They are tools of alignment, ways to deliberately tune your vibration, to speak affirmations that feel true, to visualize success until it feels familiar, to appreciate what is present so fully that more of it flows in. And as you imagine wealth not as money alone, but as freedom, impact, creativity, contribution, you feel the edges of limitation dissolving, because the universe does not respond to your words alone. It responds to the emotional signature beneath them. And when you cultivate gratitude for what is and excitement for what is becoming, you step into receiving mode naturally. And that is where the journey truly begins. Not in striving, not in waiting, but in allowing yourself to become a magnet for abundance, to trust that asking sets creation into motion, and that your only work is to align, to feel worthy, to speak powerful affirmations with conviction, to practice appreciation until it becomes your dominant state. And as you continue listening, you may notice a subtle shift already taking place, as if the reality you desire is no longer distant, but gently, steadily, unmistakably moving toward you. The power of feeling good now. There is a quiet truth that most people overlook while chasing success, wealth, love, and recognition. And it is this: your power to manifest does not live in tomorrow. It lives in the way you feel right now. In a world obsessed with future goals and distant achievements, the law of attraction responds only to the vibration you are offering in this present moment. And that vibration is shaped not by your circumstances, but by your emotional state. If you want to manifest abundance, financial freedom, your dream job, or a deeply loving relationship, the gateway is not struggle, not stress, not constant comparison. It is alignment, and alignment begins with feeling good now. Consider how often happiness is postponed, how often people tell themselves they will relax after the promotion, celebrate after the money arrives, feel confident after the validation appears. Yet manifestation does not reward postponement. It amplifies your current frequency. When you choose gratitude before the evidence shows up, when you practice positive affirmations even before results are visible, you shift your vibration into harmony with what you desire. That shift is not pretend positivity. It is deliberate creation. Feeling good now is not ignoring reality. It is choosing the version of reality you are becoming. This is where manifestation practices transform from abstract ideas into practical power. The emotional guidance within you is constant, like a compass pointing toward alignment. Joy, appreciation, enthusiasm, love, these emotions signal that you are allowing abundance to flow. Frustration, doubt, jealousy, resentment, these emotions reveal resistance. The moment you understand that your emotions are indicators of your vibrational offering, you reclaim control. You stop blaming circumstances and begin adjusting frequency. You stop asking, "Why isn't it here yet?" and begin asking, "What can I think that feels better right now?" That simple question carries enormous creative force. A better feeling thought leads to another, and then another, and soon the internal atmosphere shifts. Gratitude becomes easier. Visualization feels natural. Affirmations like, "I am attracting wealth effortlessly," or "opportunities flow to me," begin to resonate instead of sounding hollow. As your emotional state stabilizes in appreciation, the law of attraction matches it with people, ideas, and circumstances that mirror your new frequency. Synchronicities increase. Doors open. Conversations align. What once seemed coincidental begins to feel intentional. Notice how empowering this realization is. You do not have to wait for external change to feel successful. You generate the emotion first, and the physical manifestation follows. This reverses the old conditioning that says achievement creates happiness. In truth, happiness magnetizes achievement. When you deliberately cultivate joy, you become a vibrational match to joyful outcomes. When you practice gratitude daily, you become a magnet for more to appreciate. When you embody the feeling of financial abundance, even before the bank account reflects it, you align with opportunities that expand your income and influence. Momentum builds quietly but steadily. The more often you choose thoughts that feel empowering, the easier it becomes to sustain high-frequency emotions. Meditation sharpens awareness. Affirmations strengthen belief. Visualization clarifies desire. Each practice is not about forcing results. It is about sustaining alignment. And sustained alignment is what accelerates manifestation. Eventually, something subtle yet profound happens. You stop needing proof. You begin trusting the process. Feeling good now becomes less of a strategy and more of a lifestyle. Your baseline shifts upward. Challenges still arise, but they no longer define your vibration. You respond rather than react. You choose perspective deliberately. You recognize that every moment offers a choice between resistance and allowing. In that allowing, life feels lighter. Ideas come effortlessly. Inspiration replaces pressure. Wealth feels possible, not distant. Love feels natural, not elusive. And the more consistently you return to the simple power of feeling good now, the more undeniable the evidence becomes that the universe has been responding to you all along, patiently matching the energy you choose to offer, waiting for you to realize that the present emotion is the true point of attraction, and that within this very breath lies the beginning of everything you have been asking for. We are keeping our promise to you. We are reminding you of who you are. There comes a moment on the manifestation journey when seeking turns into remembering, when the desperate search for answers softens into the quiet realization that the power you have been chasing has always been within you. The law of attraction is not a new force entering your life. It is an eternal principle that has been responding to your vibration since the beginning. You are not learning how to create for the first time. You are remembering that you have always been a creator. This remembrance feels different from motivation alone. It carries a deeper resonance, like hearing a truth you once knew but temporarily forgot. Beneath the layers of doubt, beneath comparison, beneath the noise of societal expectations, there exists a version of you that understands abundance as natural, success as inevitable, love as your birthright. That version of you does not question worthiness. It does not beg for opportunity. It simply aligns and allows. When you practice affirmations such as, "I am worthy of massive wealth," or "I attract aligned opportunities effortlessly," you are not trying to convince the universe. You are reminding yourself. The emotional shift that follows this remembering is subtle yet profound. Instead of asking whether manifestation works, you begin asking how fully you are allowing it. Instead of wondering if abundance is possible, you examine where resistance may still be active. Awareness replaces fear. Curiosity replaces frustration. And with that awareness comes a powerful truth. You are a vibrational being living in a vibrational universe, and the energy you emit through your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions shapes the experiences you encounter. From that understanding, gratitude becomes more than a polite habit. It becomes a bridge back to your true nature. Appreciation aligns you instantly with the higher version of yourself who already knows that everything is unfolding in your favor. The more consistently you focus on what feels empowering, the more clearly you sense your inner guidance system. Positive emotions are not random. They are indicators that you are aligned with who you really are. Negative emotions are not punishment. They are gentle reminders that your thoughts have drifted from your natural state of expansion. Consider how liberating that realization is. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not unlucky. You are expanding. Every desire for financial freedom, every vision of entrepreneurial success, every longing for a deeply connected relationship is evidence of your evolving awareness. Desire itself is sacred. It calls you forward. It clarifies contrast. It fuels manifestation. When you feel inspired to visualize your dream life, the thriving career, the flowing income, the meaningful partnerships, you are tuning into the broader perspective of your own consciousness. As this perspective deepens, self-doubt begins to loosen its grip. The old narrative that says you must struggle to succeed starts to dissolve. You recognize that alignment, not exhaustion, is the true pathway to abundance. Manifestation practices such as meditation, scripting, visualization, and daily affirmations are no longer chores. They become moments of reconnection. Each time you choose a thought that feels expansive, you step closer to the version of yourself who already embodies prosperity and confidence. That embodiment changes the way you move through the world. Conversations feel lighter. Opportunities appear more frequently. Intuition grows sharper. You begin trusting impulses that lead toward growth. Rather than forcing outcomes, you allow inspired action to arise naturally. The universe does not need convincing. It responds automatically to your dominant vibration. And when your dominant vibration reflects self-trust, appreciation, and expectancy, circumstances begin mirroring that frequency. Gradually, the sense of separation fades. You no longer see yourself as a small individual trying to influence a vast universe. You feel like an extension of that universe, co-creating in partnership with infinite intelligence. Wealth stops feeling distant. Love stops feeling complicated. Success stops feeling reserved for others. You understand that your role is not to control every detail, but to align with the feeling of the life you desire. In that alignment, something steady and calm takes root. You walk differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. The reminder of who you are becomes less of an idea and more of a lived experience. A quiet confidence that flows beneath every affirmation, every grateful thought, every inspired action. And within that confidence rests the unshakable knowing that you have always been supported, always been guided, and always been far more powerful than you once believed. You do create your own reality. By now, a quiet confidence may be forming within you, a sense that life is not randomly unfolding but responding, moment by moment, to something far more intimate: your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotional frequency. That awareness carries weight, because if the law of attraction is always active, then every inner dialogue, every repeated affirmation, every dominant feeling is shaping the experiences that arrive at your door. The idea that you create your own reality is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to return your power. Creation does not begin with action. It begins with perception. The way you interpret events, the stories you tell yourself about money, success, relationships, and self-worth become the blueprint from which manifestation unfolds. When you consistently focus on financial struggle, the vibration of lack expands. When you rehearse disappointment in love, more evidence appears to confirm it. Yet when you deliberately shift toward abundance mindset, wealth consciousness, self-belief, and gratitude practice, the blueprint changes. The universe responds not to what you want occasionally, but to what you expect consistently. This realization can feel confronting at first. It invites radical responsibility. It asks you to look at your life, your career, your bank account, your relationships, your opportunities, and consider that your dominant vibration has played a role in shaping each of them. But within that responsibility lies extraordinary freedom, because if your thoughts have helped create your current reality, then new thoughts can create a new one. That is the heart of manifestation techniques: conscious thought selection, emotional alignment, deliberate affirmation. Notice how empowering it becomes when you stop seeing circumstances as fixed and begin viewing them as reflections. A difficult job environment is no longer a prison, it is feedback. A stalled financial situation is not a life sentence. It is contrast clarifying desire. Every unwanted experience sharpens your clarity about what you do want. And once clarity is achieved, the creative process accelerates. Visualization grows more vivid. Affirmations feel more focused. Gratitude deepens because you understand that even contrast serves expansion. Momentum builds through repetition. The mind, once trained to search for problems, can be retrained to seek possibility. Instead of waking up scanning for stress, you begin the day with positive affirmations for success and abundance. Instead of replaying past failures, you script future victories. The emotional tone shifts from doubt to expectation. That expectation is magnetic. The law of attraction matches it with opportunities, collaborations, ideas, and synchronicities that mirror your new self-concept. Over time, identity itself evolves. You no longer describe yourself as someone trying to be successful. You embody the frequency of success. You stop wishing for wealth and begin thinking like someone who manages wealth wisely. You stop longing for love and start radiating the qualities of the partner you desire. Reality reorganizes around identity. The outer world rearranges to match the inner declaration. There will still be moments of contrast, because expansion never stops. Yet even those moments feel different. Instead of spiraling into frustration, you pause and ask, what belief is active right now? That pause interrupts old patterns. It opens space for conscious creation. Choosing a better feeling thought becomes a habit. Appreciation becomes a daily practice. Meditation becomes a reset. The present moment transforms into a workshop where reality is quietly sculpted through attention and emotion. Gradually, evidence accumulates. Small manifestations appear first: unexpected compliments, minor financial gains, aligned conversations. Then larger shifts follow: new job offers, inspired business ideas, relationships that feel effortless. Each manifestation reinforces the truth that you are not a passive observer of life. You are a vibrational architect shaping experience through focus. And in that understanding, something steady settles within you. Fear loses its authority. Blame dissolves. The future feels less uncertain because you recognize the mechanism behind it. Your reality is not happening to you. It is happening through you. Every grateful thought strengthens abundance. Every empowered affirmation amplifies opportunity. Every deliberate shift in perception alters the path ahead. What once seemed mysterious now feels natural. Creation is constant. Alignment is available. The canvas of your life responds to the brushstrokes of your awareness. And with each conscious choice to think expansively, to feel appreciatively, to expect greatness, you continue shaping a reality that reflects not limitation, but the limitless creative force you have always carried within. How can I get there from here? Once you accept that you are the creator of your reality, a natural question rises from somewhere deep and honest within you. How can I get there from here? How do I move from debt to financial freedom, from confusion to clarity, from loneliness to a loving relationship, from dreaming about success to actually living it? That question is not a sign of doubt. It is evidence of expansion. It means you can see the gap between your current circumstances and your desired manifestation, and now you are ready to bridge it. The mind often wants a detailed map, a step-by-step plan, a guaranteed timeline. Yet the law of attraction does not respond to force or frantic effort. It responds to vibrational alignment. The distance between where you are and where you want to be is not measured in miles or months. It is measured in frequency. If your current emotional state is frustration and your desired state is abundance, the journey is about gradually reaching for better feeling thoughts until your vibration matches the reality you seek. This is where manifestation practices become powerful tools rather than abstract ideas. Instead of asking, "How do I make it happen?" a more aligned question emerges. What thought can I choose right now that feels closer to my desired reality? That shift changes everything. If you are worrying about money, you might not leap instantly into feeling wealthy, but you can move toward hope. From hope, you can move toward belief. From belief, you can move toward expectation. Each emotional step narrows the vibrational gap. Progress, then, is emotional before it is physical. When you practice daily affirmations for success and wealth, you are not pretending your current circumstances do not exist. You are training your focus. When you visualize your dream job or your thriving business, you are familiarizing your nervous system with possibility. When you cultivate gratitude for the resources already present in your life, you signal to the universe that you are aligned with abundance. The outer world begins reorganizing once the inner world stabilizes. Resistance often shows up as impatience. You may notice thoughts like, "It's taking too long," or "Why isn't it working yet?" That impatience is simply contrast reminding you that your focus has shifted back to lack. Rather than judging yourself, gently redirect attention toward appreciation. Appreciation is a powerful manifestation technique because it dissolves resistance quickly. The more you appreciate what is working, even small wins, even subtle improvements, the more momentum builds. Momentum feels like lightness. It feels like inspired action rather than forced hustle. Suddenly you are guided to read a certain book, contact a specific person, explore an unexpected opportunity. These impulses arise naturally when your vibration is aligned. Instead of obsessing over every detail of the path, you trust the next logical step. The journey unfolds not through pressure, but through clarity. It is important to recognize that where you stand now is not a mistake. Your current reality is the launching point for your next expansion. Every challenge has refined your desire. Every delay has strengthened your intention. The question, "How can I get there from here?" transforms into a powerful affirmation. I am moving steadily toward my desires with every aligned thought. That belief alone shifts your energy. Gradually, the gap feels smaller. You speak about your goals with confidence rather than hesitation. You think about wealth without tension. You imagine love without fear. The emotional rehearsal becomes so consistent that the physical manifestation feels inevitable. The law of attraction has no choice but to match your dominant frequency. And in that steady alignment, something remarkable happens. You stop obsessing over the destination. You begin enjoying the unfolding. The present moment no longer feels like an obstacle. It feels like fertile ground. Each breath carries possibility. Each choice carries creative power. You realize that getting there from here has never been about distance at all. It has always been about alignment, about reaching for the next better feeling thought, about trusting that every moment of appreciation, every empowered affirmation, every intentional shift in focus is quietly, faithfully guiding you exactly where you have always intended to go. This simple basis of understanding makes it all fit together. After feeling the momentum of alignment and sensing the path unfolding from where you stand, a deeper clarity begins to emerge, almost like stepping back from a complex puzzle and suddenly seeing how every piece connects. What once felt scattered, affirmations, visualization, gratitude practice, emotional awareness, manifestation techniques, now reveals a simple foundation beneath it all. The law of attraction is consistent. It responds to vibration. Like energy attracts like energy. That is the basis. That is the thread weaving everything together. When this understanding settles into your awareness, confusion dissolves. You no longer see life as random events happening without reason. Every experience becomes a reflection of vibrational harmony. Every manifestation, whether wanted or unwanted, becomes understandable. If abundance flows, you have been aligned with abundance. If resistance appears, some belief is out of sync with your desire. There is no punishment, no favoritism, no mystery, only resonance. From that resonance, everything begins to make sense. Why gratitude accelerates manifestation becomes obvious, because appreciation vibrates at a high frequency, and high-frequency emotions attract high-frequency outcomes. Why affirmations are powerful becomes clear, because repeated thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs shape vibration. Why visualization works becomes logical, because the mind cannot distinguish vividly imagined emotion from physical experience, and the universe responds to emotion more than circumstance. The principles are simple, yet their impact is profound. This simplicity is liberating. Instead of juggling endless strategies for success, you focus on alignment. Instead of asking which technique is strongest, you ask which thought feels better. Instead of worrying about timing, you pay attention to frequency. The moment you feel relief, hope, enthusiasm, or joy, you know you are moving in the right direction. Emotional guidance becomes your compass. Clarity deepens when you recognize that every desire is born from contrast. If you experience financial struggle, you naturally desire financial freedom. If you feel overlooked, you desire recognition. Contrast sharpens preference. And once preference is clear, the vibrational version of your desire already exists. In energetic terms, your dream job, your thriving business, your loving partnership, your massive wealth. All of it has already been requested and answered vibrationally. Your work is not to create it from nothing. It is to align with what has already been set into motion. That realization shifts your posture toward life. You stop trying to force outcomes and begin allowing them. Allowing does not mean passivity. It means removing resistance. Doubt, impatience, self-criticism. These are forms of resistance. Appreciation, trust, expectation. These are forms of allowing. The more you practice gratitude for where you are, the faster you align with where you want to be. The more you affirm your worthiness, the more natural success feels. Momentum builds naturally when understanding replaces struggle. You begin noticing how small emotional shifts produce visible results. A morning spent in appreciation leads to unexpected opportunities. A decision made from confidence opens doors that once seemed locked. You realize that manifestation is not about controlling the entire path, but about mastering your internal state. Gradually, life feels less complicated. The rules are not hidden. They are elegantly simple. Focus equals attraction. Emotion equals vibration. Belief equals expectation, and expectation shapes experience. With this awareness, you walk through the world differently. Instead of reacting unconsciously, you choose consciously. Instead of fearing setbacks, you interpret them as feedback. Instead of doubting your power, you remember the consistency of the universal laws at play. Peace replaces urgency. Confidence replaces confusion. The pieces that once felt disconnected now fit seamlessly into a single coherent picture. Manifestation is not magic in the dramatic sense. It is alignment in motion. And as this simple basis of understanding settles fully into your being, you feel grounded, empowered, steady, aware that the same law that governs the stars is responding to your thoughts, your gratitude, your affirmations, quietly and faithfully arranging circumstances to match the frequency you have chosen to embody. The law of attraction, the most powerful law in the universe. With that steady understanding settling into place, the magnitude of what you are working with begins to reveal itself. This is not a small personal technique or a passing self-help trend. The law of attraction is the most powerful law in the universe, a universal principle as constant as gravity, as reliable as the rising sun. It does not pause. It does not judge. It does not choose favorites. It simply responds to vibration, and your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and expectations are vibrational signals broadcast every second of your life. Feel the weight of that realization for a moment. Every dominant thought about money sends a signal. Every belief about success carries frequency. Every affirmation spoken with conviction strengthens a pattern of attraction. When you repeatedly focus on wealth consciousness, abundance mindset, financial freedom, and opportunity, the universe matches that energetic request with circumstances, ideas, and connections aligned with prosperity. When focus drifts toward scarcity, comparison, or doubt, the same law responds just as faithfully. It is neutral, yet extraordinarily powerful. Understanding this changes how you interpret your experiences. Instead of asking why certain things are happening to you, a more empowering question arises. What vibration have I been offering? That question is not meant to create guilt. It is meant to restore authorship. You are not at the mercy of random events. You are participating in a vibrational dialogue with the universe. Every emotion is feedback. Joy indicates alignment. Frustration signals resistance. Gratitude amplifies abundance. Fear slows momentum. Once you truly grasp that like attracts like, manifestation becomes less mysterious and more intentional. You realize that high-frequency emotions such as appreciation, love, confidence, and enthusiasm are magnetic states. They are not just pleasant feelings, they are creative forces. When you wake up and practice gratitude for what already exists, the roof over your head, the opportunities on the horizon, the skills you possess, you elevate your vibration instantly. From that elevated state, inspired ideas flow more easily. Decisions become clearer. Synchronicities increase. It becomes obvious why affirmations are emphasized in manifestation teachings. Repetition reshapes belief, and belief stabilizes frequency. Saying, I am attracting massive wealth and aligned success, with emotional conviction gradually replaces old narratives of limitation. Visualization works for the same reason. When you mentally rehearse your dream job, your thriving business, your fulfilling relationship, your nervous system begins to accept it as familiar. The law of attraction responds not to distant wishes, but to practiced expectation. This law is constant, even when unseen. Long before physical evidence appears, vibrational momentum is building. Just because you cannot yet see the manifestation does not mean it is not forming. Seeds grow beneath the soil before breaking through the surface. In the same way, aligned thoughts accumulate energy. Each appreciative moment adds to the vibrational tipping point. Each empowered choice strengthens attraction. Patience, then, becomes trust in motion. Impatience often signals focus on absence. Trust signals confidence in alignment. When you understand the reliability of this universal law, anxiety begins to fade. You stop checking for proof every hour. You remain steady in your frequency. You continue practicing meditation, positive affirmations, gratitude journaling, and intentional visualization not because you are desperate, but because you understand their vibrational impact. Gradually, the world around you mirrors the shift within you. Opportunities seem to appear at the right time. Conversations lead to breakthroughs. Financial doors open in unexpected ways. Relationships align with greater harmony. It feels almost magical, yet it is deeply logical. Energy meeting energy. Frequency attracting frequency. The universe responding to the signal you consistently broadcast. And in recognizing the immense power of this law, a quiet responsibility settles in. Not heavy, but empowering. You realize that every thought is creative. Every emotion is influential. Every moment is an opportunity to refine your vibration. The most powerful law in the universe is not distant or abstract. It is intimately woven into your daily awareness. It listens to your dominant focus. It answers your energetic requests. And as you continue choosing appreciation over doubt, belief over fear, alignment over resistance, you feel yourself standing in partnership with something vast and responsive, quietly shaping a life that reflects the frequency you have chosen to embody. You are standing on the leading edge of thought. Feeling the power of the law of attraction in motion naturally expands your sense of identity. And from that expansion comes an even more exhilarating realization. You are not catching up to life. You are standing on the leading edge of thought. Every desire you hold for wealth, success, freedom, impact, love, and creative expression is evidence that consciousness itself is expanding through you. The dreams in your heart are not random fantasies. They are previews of what is becoming available. The leading edge is not a distant place reserved for visionaries or spiritual masters. It is this present moment where new preferences are born. Each time you experience contrast, a job you dislike, financial pressure, a relationship that feels misaligned, clarity sharpens. In that sharpening, a new desire is launched vibrationally. The improved version of your life springs into energetic reality instantly. That improved version exists as a vibrational frequency before it becomes physical form. And here is the empowering truth. You are capable of aligning with it. Standing on the leading edge means embracing expansion instead of fearing it. Growth can feel uncomfortable because it requires releasing outdated beliefs. An old identity that once felt safe may no longer fit. Thoughts like, "I'm not ready," or "that level of success isn't for me," may surface. Yet those thoughts are simply echoes of a previous vibration. The new desire forming within you is stronger. It is calling you forward. This is why manifestation practices are essential at this stage. Meditation quiets mental resistance so you can sense the broader perspective of who you are becoming. Affirmations such as, "I am evolving into my highest potential," or "I am aligned with limitless abundance," stabilize your focus on expansion. Visualization allows you to emotionally rehearse the future that is already forming vibrationally. Gratitude keeps your frequency high enough to receive inspiration rather than doubt. Notice how dynamic this process is. You are not static. Your consciousness is constantly reaching for more clarity, more creativity, more alignment. The desire for financial freedom may evolve into a desire for impact. The wish for a loving partner may deepen into a vision of shared purpose. Each new preference launches you further along the leading edge of thought. The universe keeps pace effortlessly, responding to every refined intention. From this vantage point, comparison loses its grip. There is no competition on the leading edge because no one else is launching desires from your exact perspective. Your journey is uniquely calibrated to your experiences, your talents, your emotional guidance. Instead of measuring progress against others, you measure it by alignment. Do you feel expansive? Do you feel hopeful? Do you feel curious and inspired? These emotions indicate that you are in harmony with your expanding self. Momentum becomes exhilarating rather than overwhelming. Ideas arrive unexpectedly. Business concepts form in flashes of clarity. Opportunities seem to find you at the perfect moment. This is not coincidence. It is alignment with the vibrational reality that was created the moment you asked for more. When you trust this unfolding, you stop resisting change. You welcome it. Expansion becomes thrilling. There may still be moments of uncertainty. The leading edge is new territory, and new territory can feel unfamiliar. Yet unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. It means growth. Each time you choose belief over fear, you strengthen your alignment with the version of yourself who already lives the expanded life you desire. Each appreciative thought reinforces your readiness for the next level of abundance and success. Gradually, you begin to sense that life is not something you are trying to figure out. It is something you are joyfully discovering in real time. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely where expansion is occurring. Standing on the leading edge of thought means acknowledging that your desires are valid, your growth is natural, and your manifestation journey is unfolding with precision. And in that awareness, a quiet excitement hums beneath everything you do. The future is not something to chase. It is something you are actively shaping with every focused thought, every grateful breath, every empowered affirmation. You stand at the edge of possibility, not waiting for life to happen, but participating in its creation, steady, evolving, and beautifully aligned with the ever-expanding vision that continues to emerge from within you. You are a vibrational transmitter and receiver. Standing on that leading edge of expansion naturally awakens a deeper awareness of how you interact with the universe. And in that awareness comes a powerful realization. You are not just thinking thoughts in isolation. You are a vibrational transmitter and receiver, constantly broadcasting signals through your beliefs, emotions, and expectations, while simultaneously receiving matching frequencies from the world around you. Every desire for wealth, every affirmation for success, every moment of gratitude is energy in motion, sent outward like a signal into the vast intelligence of the universe. This transmission is not poetic metaphor. It is the practical foundation of manifestation. Your dominant thoughts generate an emotional frequency. That frequency becomes your point of attraction. When you dwell on abundance mindset, financial freedom, career growth, loving relationships, and personal success, you send a clear energetic request. The law of attraction answers by delivering experiences that match the vibration you consistently hold. If your inner dialogue repeats scarcity or self-doubt, the signal shifts accordingly. The universe responds with equal precision either way. Recognizing yourself as a transmitter changes the way you monitor your mental patterns. You become more deliberate. Instead of letting old conditioning run unchecked, you ask, "What am I broadcasting right now?" That question alone raises awareness. Perhaps you notice subtle worry about money or quiet comparison in relationships. Rather than criticizing yourself, you gently recalibrate. You reach for a better feeling thought. You speak a positive affirmation with intention. You pivot toward appreciation. In doing so, you adjust your frequency in real time. Equally important is the receiving aspect. Many people focus intensely on sending out desires, yet forget that receiving requires alignment. When you feel unworthy, impatient, or skeptical, you create static in your signal. Gratitude clears that static. Self-belief strengthens reception. Meditation quiets internal noise so inspiration can be heard. The universe is always transmitting possibilities, ideas, opportunities, synchronicities, but you perceive them clearly only when your vibration is harmonious. Notice how empowering this dynamic becomes. You are not waiting passively for luck. You are participating in an energetic exchange. When you wake up and begin your day with gratitude, journaling, or visualization, you tune your internal receiver to higher frequencies. Inspired thoughts arrive more easily. Solutions appear where problems once dominated. You may feel guided to send an email, explore a new investment, start a creative project, or initiate a meaningful conversation. These impulses are not random. They are matched responses to your adjusted signal. Momentum builds as you practice this awareness consistently. The more often you align your broadcast with confidence and abundance, the clearer your reception becomes. You start noticing subtle confirmations, unexpected compliments, financial opportunities, chance encounters that lead to breakthroughs. The world begins reflecting your internal shift. What once felt coincidental now feels responsive. This understanding dissolves the illusion of separation. You are not a small being shouting desires into a silent void. You are an active participant in a vibrational ecosystem. Your thoughts ripple outward. The universe answers. The dialogue continues. Manifestation is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing conversation between your focused energy and universal intelligence. There may still be moments when old frequencies resurface. That is natural. Patterns formed over years do not vanish instantly. Yet each time you consciously choose gratitude over complaint, belief over fear, expectation over doubt, you strengthen a new broadcast. Each aligned thought becomes a clearer signal. Each empowered affirmation refines the frequency of your life. Gradually, trust replaces effort. You realize that you do not need to control every outcome. You simply need to maintain alignment. By managing your vibration, you influence what you receive. By honoring your emotional guidance, you refine your transmission. Wealth, success, love, and opportunity are not forced into existence. They are drawn through resonance. And within this steady exchange, a calm confidence settles in. You move through your days aware that your energy matters. You speak carefully, think deliberately, appreciate deeply. The invisible dialogue continues, subtle yet powerful. You transmit clarity. You receive inspiration. You adjust when necessary. You allow when ready. And in this seamless flow of sending and receiving, you feel connected, capable, and quietly certain that the life you are shaping is responding faithfully to the frequency you choose to embody. The hidden value behind your emotional reactions. Living as a vibrational transmitter and receiver naturally heightens your awareness of emotion. And once you begin noticing how often your feelings shift throughout the day, a deeper question arises. What if every emotional reaction carries hidden value? What if frustration, excitement, jealousy, appreciation, fear, and joy are not random moods, but precise guidance from your inner alignment system? The law of attraction does not only respond to your vibration, it also reveals your vibration through the way you feel. Emotions are indicators. They are the real-time feedback mechanism between your current thoughts and the broader vision you hold for your life. When you think about financial freedom and feel inspired, that positive emotion confirms alignment. When you think about money and feel anxious or defeated, that discomfort signals resistance. The feeling itself is not the problem, it is the messenger. And once you begin treating emotions as guidance rather than obstacles, your entire manifestation journey becomes clearer. Consider how often people try to suppress so-called negative emotions. They push away doubt, bury insecurity, ignore envy, or mask fear with forced positivity. Yet suppression disconnects you from guidance. The hidden value in emotional reaction is awareness. If jealousy arises when someone else succeeds, it reveals a desire for your own success that has not yet been fully claimed. If frustration appears in your career, it highlights a longing for meaningful work or greater abundance. Contrast sharpens clarity. That clarity is powerful. It launches new intentions vibrationally. The moment you recognize what you do not want, you simultaneously define what you do want. The universe responds instantly to that clarified desire. Your role is to align with the improved version rather than dwell on the discomfort that birthed it. This is where emotional intelligence becomes a manifestation practice. Instead of reacting unconsciously, you pause and ask, "What is this feeling showing me?" Through that pause, wisdom emerges. A wave of disappointment might reveal that you are holding yourself to outdated standards. A spark of excitement may indicate alignment with a new opportunity. Appreciation signals openness. Anxiety often signals focus on lack. Each emotion contains information about your vibrational position. When you learn to read that information without judgment, you gain control over your frequency. This awareness makes gratitude even more meaningful. Gratitude is not denial of negative emotion. It is a conscious shift toward alignment. After recognizing frustration, you can reach for a thought that feels slightly better. You might remind yourself of previous successes, small wins, or existing resources. That small shift softens resistance. It moves your vibration upward. Emotional scale matters. You do not need to leap from despair to ecstasy. You simply need to move incrementally toward relief. Affirmations become more effective when paired with emotional honesty. Saying, "I am attracting abundance effortlessly," while ignoring deep doubt creates internal conflict. Acknowledging the doubt first allows you to refine the affirmation into something believable, such as, "I am learning to trust the flow of abundance." That feels authentic. Authenticity aligns frequency. Over time, your relationship with emotion transforms. Instead of fearing low moods, you become curious. Instead of clinging to highs, you appreciate them. You understand that emotional contrast is part of expansion. Each reaction points toward greater clarity, stronger desire, and more precise manifestation. Nothing is wasted. Every feeling refines your path. As this perspective deepens, resilience strengthens. Challenges no longer derail you because you recognize their guidance. Setbacks do not define you, they inform you. You listen, you adjust, you realign. The law of attraction continues responding faithfully to your updated vibration. Gradually, you begin trusting your inner guidance system more than external noise. Opinions from others carry less weight than your emotional compass. When something feels aligned, you move toward it. When something feels heavy, you reconsider. This internal calibration becomes your most reliable tool for creating wealth, success, love, and fulfillment. And in honoring the hidden value behind every emotional reaction, you discover a profound steadiness within yourself. You are no longer at war with your feelings. You are in dialogue with them. Each emotion becomes a doorway back to alignment, back to clarity, back to conscious creation. Within that dialogue, you feel guided, aware, and quietly confident that even your most challenging moments are leading you toward a more expansive, more intentional, more abundant expression of who you truly are. The 3 steps to whatever you want to be, do, or have. Trusting your emotional guidance naturally prepares you for something even more empowering, because once you understand that your feelings reveal your alignment, the process of manifestation becomes surprisingly simple. Beneath all the techniques, beneath the affirmations, the visualization, the gratitude journaling, there is a streamlined flow to creation itself. Everything you desire to be, do, or have moves through a universal rhythm. And when you recognize that rhythm, life stops feeling complicated and starts feeling cooperative. It begins the moment you ask. Every contrast you experience causes you to define a preference. When you encounter limitation, you ask for expansion. When you experience lack, you ask for abundance. When you feel unseen, you ask for recognition. You may not always voice the request aloud, yet the desire is launched vibrationally with precision. The universe responds instantly, matching your request at an energetic level. The improved job, the increased income, the loving partner, the thriving business. All of it becomes part of your vibrational reality the moment the desire is born. And because the universe responds without hesitation, the next movement belongs to you. Your work is alignment. The desire already exists vibrationally. The question becomes whether your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations allow you to receive it. If you continue focusing on scarcity while asking for wealth, you create resistance. If you request love while rehearsing betrayal in your mind, you slow the flow. Alignment means bringing your vibration into harmony with what you have asked for. This is where manifestation practices reveal their true purpose. Affirmations reshape belief. Visualization familiarizes your nervous system with success. Meditation quiets doubt. Gratitude elevates frequency. Each practice is a tool for closing the gap between desire and belief. When you say, "I am attracting financial freedom," and you begin to feel relief instead of skepticism, alignment is occurring. When you imagine your dream career and feel excitement instead of fear, resistance is dissolving. The final movement unfolds naturally once alignment stabilizes. You allow. Allowing is not passive waiting, it is confident expectation. It is the calm knowing that what you have asked for is already in motion. Many people interrupt this stage with impatience, constantly checking for evidence, questioning timing, or doubting progress. Yet impatience signals focus on absence. Allowing signals trust in the law of attraction. When you relax into expectation, inspired action emerges organically. Inspired action feels different from forced effort. It carries clarity rather than pressure. You might feel guided to learn a new skill, reach out to a mentor, invest in an idea, or take a creative risk. These impulses arise because your vibrational alignment makes you receptive to opportunity. Instead of chasing success, you rendezvous with it. Instead of struggling toward abundance, you step into pathways that feel natural and energizing. Notice how empowering this rhythm becomes. You ask through contrast and desire. The universe responds immediately at a vibrational level. You align through belief, gratitude, and emotional calibration. You allow through trust and inspired movement. This flow is constant, whether you are aware of it or not. The difference now is consciousness. You are participating deliberately. Over time, confidence deepens. Small manifestations confirm the process. Unexpected income, aligned collaborations, meaningful connections. Larger manifestations follow as your trust strengthens. The gap between asking and receiving shortens because resistance decreases. You no longer doubt your worthiness. You no longer question whether abundance is possible. You focus on maintaining a high vibration and let the law perform its function. Gradually, this rhythm becomes second nature. Desire excites you rather than frustrates you. Alignment feels empowering rather than effortful. Allowing feels peaceful rather than uncertain. You recognize that creation is not a struggle to control every outcome. It is a partnership with universal intelligence. Each dream you hold moves through this elegant flow. And in that realization, a quiet assurance settles in your chest. You understand that whatever you want to be, do, or have is not outside your reach. It is moving toward you as surely as you are moving toward it. With every grateful thought, every empowered affirmation, every moment of trust, you participate in a process that is already designed for your expansion, already calibrated to your desires, already unfolding in perfect response to the signal you choose to send. With practice, you will become a joyous, deliberate creator. As the rhythm of asking, aligning, and allowing becomes familiar, something inside you begins to relax, because you realize that conscious creation is not a rare gift reserved for a few. It is a skill, and like any skill, it strengthens with practice. The law of attraction has always been responding to you, but now you are choosing to participate deliberately. This is where manifestation shifts from accidental to intentional, from reactive to empowered, from hopeful wishing to joyful creating. At first, deliberate creation may feel inconsistent. Some days your vibration feels high, Your affirmations resonate. Your gratitude flows easily. Other days, old doubts resurface. Impatience creeps in. Comparison whispers in the background. Yet, even this contrast is part of refinement. Practice does not mean perfection. It means returning again and again to alignment. Each time you notice resistance and gently redirect your focus toward a better feeling thought, you are strengthening your creative awareness. Consistency is what transforms this knowledge into embodiment. A daily gratitude practice trains your mind to scan for abundance rather than lack. Positive affirmations repeated with emotional engagement begin to rewire limiting beliefs about money, success, and self-worth. Visualization sessions where you vividly imagine your dream life, the thriving career, the financial freedom, the loving partnership, condition your nervous system to expect expansion. Over time, these practices compound, building unstoppable manifestation momentum. Joy becomes an indicator of mastery, not fleeting excitement dependent on external outcomes, but a steady internal satisfaction that comes from knowing you are aligned. You start enjoying the process of becoming as much as the manifestations themselves. The journey toward wealth feels creative instead of stressful. The pursuit of success feels expansive instead of competitive. Relationships feel like shared growth instead of validation seeking. This is the shift from unconscious attraction to deliberate creation. There is a noticeable lightness that accompanies this shift. You no longer obsess over timelines. You no longer panic when results seem delayed. You understand vibrational gestation. Just as seeds take time to break through soil, aligned desires require consistent frequency before physical evidence appears. Trust replaces urgency. Appreciation replaces frustration. Your emotional baseline rises, and with it, your point of attraction evolves. Through repetition, self-awareness sharpens. You catch negative self-talk sooner. You pivot away from scarcity, thinking more quickly. Instead of spiraling into doubt about finances or career progress, you pause and reaffirm your belief in abundance mindset and universal support. That pause is powerful. It interrupts old patterns. It reinforces your identity as a conscious creator. Gradually, you begin to notice that joy itself becomes magnetic. When you choose activities that genuinely uplift you, creative projects, meaningful conversations, personal growth, acts of kindness, you emit a high vibrational signal effortlessly. The law of attraction responds with aligned opportunities and supportive people. Success flows more naturally when it is fueled by passion rather than pressure. Even challenges begin to feel different. Instead of seeing obstacles as evidence of failure, you interpret them as feedback guiding refinement. If a business idea does not gain traction, you adjust without self-judgment. If a relationship ends, you clarify your preferences rather than closing your heart. Each experience becomes data for expansion. This mindset is the mark of a deliberate creator. With practice, confidence deepens quietly. You speak about your dreams without hesitation. You think about wealth without guilt. You receive compliments and opportunities without deflecting them. You feel worthy of what you desire because you understand that desire itself is evidence of expansion seeking expression through you. Over time, joy is no longer something you chase after success arrives. It becomes the foundation from which success grows. You wake up aware that your thoughts matter. You move through your day consciously choosing alignment. You fall asleep grateful for evidence of growth. Manifestation becomes less about proving something to the world and more about expressing your natural creative power. And in that steady rhythm of practice, adjustment, gratitude, and belief, you realize you are no longer trying to become a deliberate creator. You are living as one. The universe responds to your consistent joy, your clear intention, your unwavering expectation. What once felt mystical now feels natural. What once felt distant now feels inevitable. You stand in quiet confidence, aware that through practice, patience, and alignment, you have become a joyous, deliberate creator shaping a life that reflects the frequency you have chosen to embody. Your emotional set points are within your control. Becoming a joyous, deliberate creator naturally leads to a deeper realization, one that places even more power gently back into your hands. Your emotional set point is not fixed by circumstance. It is shaped by focus, and focus is something you can consciously choose. For years, you may have believed that moods were automatic responses to what happened around you, that financial stress caused anxiety, that relationship challenges caused insecurity, that career uncertainty caused doubt. Yet the law of attraction reveals something far more empowering. Your emotional baseline is adjustable, and through deliberate thought, you can recalibrate it. An emotional set point is simply the vibration you most consistently practice. If you frequently dwell on scarcity, worry becomes familiar. If you often reflect on appreciation, gratitude becomes natural. The mind adapts to repetition. The universe responds to consistency. When you understand this, manifestation shifts from occasional effort to intentional conditioning. You are not trying to feel good only when something positive occurs. You are training yourself to default to alignment regardless of temporary contrast. At first, this may seem challenging. Old mental habits can feel deeply ingrained. Thoughts about money might automatically trigger concern. Thoughts about success might activate comparison. Yet awareness itself is the beginning of transformation. The moment you recognize a pattern, you gain influence over it. Instead of following the familiar emotional path, you pause. In that pause, possibility opens. Shifting your set point does not require dramatic leaps from fear to euphoria. It begins with incremental relief. If anxiety is active, reach for reassurance. If frustration is dominant, reach for understanding. If disappointment lingers, reach for perspective. Each small emotional improvement strengthens a new vibrational baseline. Over time, those small adjustments accumulate into profound change. This is why consistent manifestation practices matter so deeply. Daily gratitude journaling gradually elevates your default focus toward abundance mindset and financial appreciation. Positive affirmations spoken with genuine intention reshape subconscious beliefs about worthiness and success. Meditation softens reactive patterns and strengthens your connection to inner guidance. Visualization aligns your nervous system with prosperity and opportunity. Each practice is a gentle recalibration tool. Notice how life begins to feel different when your set point rises. Situations that once triggered stress now evoke curiosity. Financial conversations feel empowering instead of intimidating. Career ambitions feel exciting rather than overwhelming. Even unexpected challenges are met with a steadier response. The outer world may not have changed instantly, yet your interpretation of it has shifted, and interpretation determines vibration. Because the law of attraction matches your dominant frequency, a higher emotional set point naturally attracts experiences aligned with confidence and abundance. When your baseline is appreciation, you notice opportunities more easily. When your baseline is self-trust, you act with clarity. When your baseline is expectation of success, you make decisions that reinforce growth. Momentum builds without strain. There will still be days when old emotions resurface. That does not mean you have failed. It means contrast is offering refinement. Instead of judging yourself, you gently guide your focus back to something that feels slightly better. You remind yourself of past manifestations. You acknowledge progress. You choose one empowering affirmation. That small pivot reinforces your authority over your internal state. Gradually, emotional mastery replaces emotional reactivity. You understand that while you cannot always control external events, you can influence your internal response. That influence is creative power. It determines what you broadcast vibrationally. It shapes what you receive. It defines the reality you continue to attract. With this awareness, a quiet confidence grows stronger. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You are a conscious participant in the calibration of your own frequency. Wealth, love, success, freedom, these are not distant rewards waiting to surprise you. They are natural extensions of the vibration you consistently practice. And as you continue refining your emotional set point, choosing gratitude over complaint, belief over doubt, appreciation over impatience, you feel something steady anchoring within you. Your inner world becomes stable, intentional, responsive. From that stability, manifestation unfolds more smoothly, more predictably, more joyfully, not because the universe has changed its rules, but because you have chosen to master the frequency you offer, moment by moment, thought by thought, breath by breath. Allow your feelings to be your guide. As your emotional set point becomes more intentional and steady, something remarkable begins to happen. You start trusting your feelings not as unpredictable moods, but as precise guidance. What once felt like emotional ups and downs now reveals itself as an internal navigation system, constantly pointing you toward alignment or gently alerting you to resistance. The law of attraction is always responding to your vibration, and your feelings are the immediate translation of that vibrational dialogue. Every time you think about wealth and feel expansive, that feeling is guidance. Every time you consider a new opportunity and feel energized, that excitement is direction. If a decision about career, money, or relationships feels heavy or tense, that tension is not random, it is information. Allowing your feelings to guide you means honoring that information instead of overriding it with logic rooted in fear or social expectation. Many people have been taught to ignore emotion in favor of practicality, to suppress intuition in favor of approval. Yet manifestation thrives on alignment, not conformity. Your emotional response to a situation reveals whether your current thoughts match the expanded version of your desire. When you feel enthusiasm about a business idea, your vibration is harmonizing with possibility. When you feel dread about a commitment, your inner guidance may be signaling misalignment. This guidance system becomes clearer the more you practice awareness. Meditation sharpens sensitivity to subtle emotional shifts. Gratitude amplifies positive frequency, so alignment feels more natural. Affirmations stabilize belief, making it easier to distinguish inspired action from forced effort. The more you tune into your feelings, the more confidently you navigate choices about financial freedom, personal growth, and meaningful success. Trust deepens gradually. At first, you may question whether a feeling is valid or simply habit. With practice, the difference becomes obvious. Fear feels contracted and urgent. Alignment feels open and steady. Scarcity thinking carries tension. Abundance mindset carries relief. By pausing before major decisions and asking, "How does this truly feel?" you give your vibrational compass space to respond. There will be moments when contrast intensifies emotion. Disappointment, frustration, even jealousy may arise. Instead of resisting these feelings, you can explore their message. Frustration may highlight that you are ready for expansion. Disappointment may reveal a stronger preference emerging. Jealousy may signal an unclaimed desire within you. Each emotion, when acknowledged without judgment, refines clarity. Following your feelings does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means integrating intuition with intention. If an opportunity aligns with your long-term vision yet feels overwhelming, you can move toward it in stages. If a relationship feels misaligned despite external validation, you can honor your internal truth. Alignment often requires courage, but it always brings coherence. As this practice becomes natural, life begins to feel less chaotic. You are no longer reacting to every external influence. Instead, you check in with your emotional guidance before responding. Conversations shift. Commitments become clearer. Decisions about investments, partnerships, or creative ventures are made from steadiness rather than pressure. Your vibrational offering becomes more consistent. The law of attraction responds to that consistency with precision. Opportunities that resonate with your authentic desires appear more frequently. People who match your elevated frequency enter your experience. Financial growth feels less like a struggle and more like an unfolding. You sense that you are cooperating with a larger intelligence rather than pushing against resistance. Gradually, confidence replaces confusion. You understand that your feelings are not obstacles to overcome, but instruments to trust. Even moments of discomfort serve refinement. Even hesitation invites clarity. By allowing your emotions to guide you, you remain in active conversation with the universe. And in that ongoing dialogue, a calm assurance takes root within you. You move forward not because you have forced certainty, but because you feel alignment. You adjust when necessary. You appreciate when possible. You pause when clarity calls for it. Guided by your emotional compass, supported by universal law, you continue shaping a life that reflects not external pressure, but inner truth, steady, expansive, and beautifully attuned to the frequency of your deepest desires. Some things you knew before you arrived. Trusting your feelings as guidance begins to awaken something even deeper, almost ancient, as if beneath all the techniques and affirmations and manifestation practices, there is a remembering taking place. It feels less like learning something new and more like uncovering something you have always known. There is a quiet sense that before you stepped into this physical experience, before you carried a name, a history, a bank balance, or a career path, you understood the laws that govern creation. You knew that you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe. You knew that the law of attraction would respond precisely to the frequency you offer. You understood that joy, expansion, abundance, and love are your natural states. Scarcity, fear, and doubt were never meant to define you. They were meant to refine you. Somewhere beyond memory, there was clarity, a knowing that this life would be a playground of creation, contrast shaping desire, desire summoning expansion. As you move through your manifestation journey now, that pre-existing wisdom begins to resurface. When you feel drawn toward personal growth, wealth consciousness, abundance mindset, or spiritual alignment, it is not accidental. It is resonance. It is the echo of something familiar. Every time you practice gratitude and feel your heart lift, every time you speak affirmations for success and feel belief strengthening, you are reconnecting with that original understanding. Contrast was always part of the design. You would encounter challenges. You would face moments of uncertainty. Yet even those experiences were meant to inspire clarity. Financial pressure would sharpen your desire for freedom. Relationship struggles would refine your preference for deep, aligned love. Career dissatisfaction would ignite ambition for meaningful success. You knew that expansion required contrast, and you trusted your ability to navigate it. There is something profoundly empowering about remembering this. It removes the sense of being lost. It dissolves the idea that you are behind. You are not scrambling to catch up to life. You are unfolding exactly as intended. The desires that feel urgent within you now, financial independence, personal influence, creative expression, emotional fulfillment, are extensions of that original intention to expand. This perspective softens resistance. Instead of viewing obstacles as failures, you see them as stepping stones. Instead of interpreting delay as rejection, you understand vibrational timing. The universe is not withholding, it is responding. When your frequency aligns fully with what you have asked for, manifestation becomes inevitable. Your emotional guidance system, which you are learning to trust more deeply, was part of that original knowing. It was designed to keep you aligned with the broader perspective of who you truly are. When you feel joy, you are in harmony with that larger self. When you feel discouragement, you are temporarily misaligned with your own expanded vision. The solution is not force, it is recalibration. Meditation becomes a remembering. Gratitude becomes a remembering. Visualization becomes a remembering. Each time you align with abundance and appreciation, You reconnect with that deeper awareness that life is meant to feel expansive. Success is not meant to feel heavy. Wealth is not meant to feel guilty. Love is not meant to feel scarce. These distortions are temporary overlays, not core truths. Gradually, a calm certainty begins to settle in. You trust your desires more. You honor your impulses more. You recognize that your longing for growth is not selfish, it is natural. The universe delights in expansion. Your ambition to create a thriving business, attract aligned relationships, and live in financial freedom is not separate from spiritual alignment. It is an expression of it. And as this remembering deepens, you feel less like someone trying to master the law of attraction and more like someone reuniting with an old friend. The principles feel intuitive. The practices feel supportive. The journey feels purposeful. You sense that before you arrived in this physical body, you knew it would be like this. Contrast leading to clarity, clarity leading to desire, desire leading to expansion. Within that realization, a gentle confidence grows. You are not wandering without guidance. You are rediscovering wisdom that has always been yours. And as you continue choosing alignment, practicing gratitude, speaking empowering affirmations, and trusting your emotional compass, you feel yourself moving not towards something foreign, but towards something deeply familiar, a life of abundance, joy, and deliberate creation that you somehow always knew was possible. You are a perfect yet expanding being, in a perfect yet expanding world, in a perfect yet expanding universe. That gentle remembering of who you were before doubt, before comparison, before limitation, naturally opens the door to an even more liberating realization. You are not broken, and neither is your path. You are a perfect yet expanding being, living in a perfect yet expanding world, within a perfect yet expanding universe. Perfection here does not mean static or finished. It means whole. It means complete in this moment, while still joyfully unfolding into more. So often, the desire for manifestation is fueled by the belief that something is missing. You want financial freedom because you feel lack. You want success because you feel behind. You want love because you feel incomplete. Yet the law of attraction responds most powerfully not to desperation, but to alignment. When you understand that you are already worthy, already whole, already enough, your vibration shifts from chasing to attracting. Expansion is not evidence of deficiency. It is the natural impulse of life itself. A seed expands into a tree. An idea expands into innovation. A dream expands into reality. In the same way, your desire for wealth, abundance mindset, career growth, and meaningful relationships is not proof that you are lacking. It is proof that you are evolving. You are not trying to fix yourself. You are allowing yourself to grow. This shift changes the emotional tone of manifestation. Instead of striving to prove your value, you create from confidence. Instead of forcing positive affirmations to override insecurity, you speak them from grounded belief. I am worthy of massive success no longer feels like a stretch. It feels like a recognition. Gratitude deepens because you appreciate who you are now while welcoming who you are becoming. Living in an expanding universe means that contrast will always exist. Markets fluctuate. Relationships transform. Opportunities appear and disappear. Yet none of this indicates imperfection. It indicates movement. The universe is dynamic, constantly adjusting to the desires launched by every being within it. When you experience contrast, it sharpens clarity. When clarity sharpens, expansion accelerates. The process is flawless, even when it feels challenging. Understanding this brings relief. You no longer interpret setbacks as personal failures. A delayed manifestation is not rejection, it is refinement. A closed door is not punishment, it is redirection. Because you are part of an expanding system, every experience contributes to your evolution. The law of attraction is not judging your worthiness. It is responding to your frequency within this larger unfolding. With this awareness, patience becomes easier. You trust vibrational timing. You continue your manifestation practices, meditation, visualization, gratitude journaling, abundance affirmations, not out of urgency, but out of alignment. You enjoy the process of becoming. You recognize that the version of you who effortlessly manages wealth, leads with confidence, and experiences deep love is already forming vibrationally. Expansion is inevitable. Self-criticism begins to soften. Instead of asking, "Why am I not there yet?" you begin asking, "How am I expanding right now?" That question invites appreciation. You notice how much clarity you have gained. You observe how your emotional set point has improved. You see evidence of growth in small manifestations, unexpected opportunities, new insights, stronger boundaries, increased confidence. Each sign confirms that expansion is active. Even the world around you looks different through this lens. Challenges in society, shifts in industries, global changes, all are part of collective expansion. Innovation emerges from dissatisfaction. Progress arises from contrast. You are not navigating chaos. You are participating in evolution. And within this ever-expanding reality, your role becomes beautifully simple. Align with your joy. Trust your desires. Follow your emotional guidance. Appreciate the present while welcoming the future. You do not need to force perfection. You are already part of it. You do not need to rush growth. It is happening naturally. As this truth settles into your awareness, a deep calm replaces urgency. You feel grounded in who you are, yet excited about who you are becoming. You sense that wealth, success, love, and fulfillment are not distant prizes, but natural extensions of your expanding self. In this perfect yet unfolding universe, nothing has gone wrong. Everything is moving. Everything is evolving. And you, exactly as you are in this moment, are both complete and magnificently on your way. You are co-creating within a magnificently diverse universe. Feeling grounded in your own expansion naturally widens your awareness beyond the personal, because as soon as you recognize yourself as a perfect yet expanding being, you begin to notice that you are not creating alone. You are co-creating within a magnificently diverse universe, a vast field of consciousness where every individual is launching desires, refining preferences, and contributing to the collective momentum of growth. The law of attraction is not only responding to you, it is orchestrating the harmonious intersection of countless vibrational requests. This understanding shifts how you view relationships, competition, and opportunity. In a diverse universe, there is no shortage of abundance. There is no limited supply of success, wealth, or love. Each person's clarity adds to the expansion of possibilities. When someone else thrives financially, it does not diminish your potential for financial freedom. It expands the field of prosperity. When innovation emerges in your industry, it does not close doors. It opens new ones. Diversity fuels creation. Co-creation means your desires are part of a larger tapestry. The dream job you envision exists in relation to evolving industries and growing needs. The loving partnership you seek aligns with another soul refining their own clarity. The business you wish to build intersects with customers searching for solutions. Manifestation is not about bending the universe to your will. It is about aligning your vibration so you rendezvous with the elements already moving in complementary directions. This is why comparison becomes unnecessary. No one else can occupy your precise vibrational position. Your background, your experiences, your emotional guidance system, your ambitions, they form a unique frequency. When you practice gratitude, speak empowering affirmations, and cultivate an abundance mindset, you are refining that frequency. The law of attraction then connects you with circumstances and people that resonate with your specific signal. Even conflict and contrast take on new meaning in this context. Diverse perspectives naturally create friction, yet that friction sharpens clarity. In conversations where opinions differ, preferences become stronger. In markets where competition exists, innovation accelerates. In relationships where values are tested, alignment becomes clearer. Co-creation within diversity ensures continuous expansion. Recognizing this interconnectedness softens resistance toward others. Instead of seeing obstacles as adversaries, you begin to see them as contributors to growth. A challenging colleague may inspire you to strengthen your leadership skills. A saturated market may motivate you to clarify your unique value. Diversity becomes a catalyst rather than a threat. This broader awareness also deepens your trust in divine timing. Because you are co-creating with billions of moving parts, synchronicity requires alignment on multiple levels. When a manifestation feels delayed, it may simply be aligning with other unfolding desires. Patience becomes easier when you understand that the universe is coordinating more than you can currently see. Your role remains beautifully focused. Manage your vibration. Follow your emotional guidance. Engage in manifestation practices that keep you aligned: meditation, visualization, gratitude journaling, success affirmations. As you maintain a high-frequency state of appreciation and belief, you naturally align with others who are vibrating at compatible frequencies. Partnerships form. Opportunities intersect. Resources converge. Gradually, you begin noticing how often life arranges meaningful coincidences. A chance meeting sparks a business idea. A conversation reveals a new career path. An online post connects you to a mentor. These are not random events. They are co-creative rendezvous points, orchestrated through matching vibrations. Understanding co-creation replaces isolation with participation. You are not navigating a static environment. You are contributing to a living, evolving system. Your desires influence the collective field. The collective field influences available pathways. Expansion unfolds through interaction. And within this magnificently diverse universe, you feel both significant and supported. Your dreams matter. Your clarity contributes. Your joy uplifts the field. As you continue aligning with abundance, appreciation, and intentional thought, you sense yourself moving fluidly through intersections of opportunity, guided not by competition or fear, but by resonance, a steady, harmonious dance of energies weaving together to create experiences richer than you could have orchestrated alone. Where are you, and where do you want to be? Moving within this vast, interconnected dance of co-creation naturally invites a moment of honest reflection, a quiet pause where you look at your life not with judgment, but with clarity, and ask yourself a powerful question. Where are you right now, and where do you truly want to be? This is not about comparison or self-criticism. It is about awareness. Because the law of attraction responds to clarity, and clarity begins with acknowledging your current vibrational position. Perhaps you notice that financially you are stable, but not yet thriving. Perhaps your career feels secure, yet uninspiring. Perhaps your relationships are comfortable, but lack depth. Observing where you stand does not lower your vibration when it is done without resistance. In fact, honest awareness is empowering. It defines your launching point. Every manifestation begins from where you are, not from where you wish you were. From this grounded awareness, desire becomes sharper. When you clearly see your current income, you can more confidently define financial freedom. When you acknowledge your present level of confidence, you can intentionally cultivate a success mindset. When you recognize the emotional tone of your relationships, you can envision deeper connection and love. Contrast clarifies preference. Preference launches expansion. Yet the most important part of this reflection is emotional. Where are you vibrationally? Do you feel hopeful about your future or doubtful? Do you expect abundance or do you anticipate struggle? The distance between where you are and where you want to be is not physical, it is vibrational. If you desire massive wealth but feel chronic scarcity, alignment is needed. If you dream of a thriving business but feel persistent fear, your work is emotional calibration. This is where manifestation practices become bridges. You cannot always leap instantly from frustration to joy, but you can move step by step. If doubt dominates, reach for possibility. If possibility feels fragile, reach for curiosity. Each improved emotion closes the vibrational gap. Gratitude is especially powerful here. When you appreciate what is already working, your skills, your resources, your network, your resilience, you stabilize a higher frequency. That frequency begins attracting evidence aligned with growth. Visualization sharpens direction. Picture your ideal day. See yourself managing wealth confidently. Hear yourself speaking with clarity in your dream career. Feel the emotional security of a loving partnership. The more vividly you rehearse this future, the more familiar it becomes. Familiarity reduces resistance. Resistance dissolves distance. At the same time, patience is essential. Measuring progress solely by external results can create unnecessary frustration. Instead, measure by emotional shifts. Are you thinking differently about money than you were 6 months ago? Are you responding to challenges with more confidence? Are you choosing empowering affirmations instead of repeating limiting beliefs? These are signs that your vibrational position is moving. It is also important to honor that your desires may evolve. Where you want to be today might differ from what you envisioned years ago. Expansion is continuous. The dream job may transform into entrepreneurship. Financial freedom may expand into generational wealth. Personal success may evolve into meaningful impact. The question is not static, it refines as you grow. Through this ongoing reflection, a deeper self-trust develops. You realize that you are capable of assessing your current reality without being defined by it. You can stand firmly in the present while reaching deliberately toward the future. You are neither denying contrast nor trapped by it. You are using it as creative fuel. And in that balanced awareness, grounded in where you are, inspired by where you want to be, you feel a steady sense of direction. The path does not need to be fully mapped. You only need the next aligned thought, the next better feeling emotion, the next inspired action. With every grateful breath and every intentional affirmation, you shift slightly closer to your desired reality, not through force, but through frequency, not through pressure, but through clarity, steadily, consciously, and with a growing confidence that the distance between here and there is narrowing with every aligned step you choose to take. You can gradually change your vibrational frequency. Sensing the distance between where you are and where you want to be can feel intense at times. Yet within that awareness lies one of the most empowering truths of all. You do not have to transform your entire life overnight. You can gradually change your vibrational frequency, and in doing so, gradually change your reality. The law of attraction does not demand dramatic leaps. It responds faithfully to consistent shifts. Think of your current vibration as momentum built from repeated thoughts. If you have practiced worry about money for years, that frequency feels familiar. If you have rehearsed doubt about success, that emotional tone becomes habitual. But habits are not destiny. Just as momentum can build in one direction, it can build in another. The key is gentleness and repetition. A sudden attempt to force positivity often backfires because your beliefs resist what feels untrue. Instead of jumping from scarcity to declaring yourself a millionaire with no emotional resonance, begin where relief is accessible. If financial stress dominates, reach for stability. Remind yourself that you have managed before. Acknowledge skills, resources, opportunities already present. That small shift softens resistance and slightly elevates your frequency. From relief, you can reach for possibility. From possibility, you can reach for expectation. Each emotional step is subtle, yet powerful. This is how abundance mindset develops authentically. This is how self-confidence strengthens naturally. Affirmations become more believable as they align with your current vibrational range. I am learning to attract wealth may feel truer than I am infinitely wealthy, and truth is what creates alignment. Consistency is the secret behind lasting manifestation. A daily gratitude practice gently retrains your focus. Instead of scanning for problems, you begin scanning for evidence of growth. Each moment of appreciation sends a signal of abundance. Meditation slows reactive thought patterns, giving you space to choose intentionally. Visualization builds familiarity with success, reducing the emotional gap between present and future. You may not notice dramatic changes at first. The shifts are internal before they are visible. Perhaps you feel slightly calmer when checking your bank account. Perhaps you speak about your career goals with less hesitation. Perhaps comparison triggers less envy and more inspiration. These are signs of vibrational adjustment. The outer world will mirror this internal evolution in time. Patience becomes easier when you understand that frequency compounds. Just as small deposits grow into significant savings, small emotional improvements accumulate into powerful momentum. The universe responds not to isolated thoughts, but to dominant patterns. When appreciation becomes your default response more often than complaint, when belief outweighs doubt, when expectation replaces fear, manifestations accelerate naturally. It is also important to release self-judgment during this process. Some days you will feel aligned. Other days old patterns may resurface. This does not erase progress. It simply highlights areas still refining. When frustration appears, acknowledge it without resistance. Then gently guide your focus towards something that feels better. Each redirection strengthens your ability to consciously calibrate. Gradual change is sustainable change. You are not attempting to bypass growth. You are honoring it. The version of you who effortlessly attracts financial freedom, meaningful success, and aligned relationships is forming through consistent emotional upgrades. Every time you choose appreciation over complaint, optimism over doubt, possibility over limitation, you are moving closer vibrationally to that expanded identity. Eventually, what once felt like effort becomes natural. Thinking positively about wealth no longer feels forced. Trusting the timing of manifestation no longer feels naive. Acting on inspired ideas no longer feels risky. Your baseline frequency has shifted. The law of attraction reflects that shift with new circumstances, new connections, new results. And in recognizing that transformation can be gradual, you release urgency. You stop demanding instant proof. You start enjoying the unfolding. Each day becomes an opportunity to tune your vibration slightly higher, to speak one more empowering affirmation, to feel one more moment of sincere gratitude. Step by step, thought by thought, feeling by feeling, you reshape your frequency, and as your frequency evolves, so does your life, quietly, steadily, beautifully aligning with the desires you have been nurturing all along. Only you can know how you feel about you. As your vibrational frequency gradually shifts and strengthens, a deeply personal truth rises to the surface, one that no external voice can override. Only you can know how you feel about you. In a world saturated with opinions, expectations, metrics of success, and social comparison, it is easy to let outside validation define your worth. Yet the law of attraction does not respond to applause or criticism from others. It responds to your internal vibration, and that vibration is shaped most powerfully by your self-perception. You may achieve financial milestones, receive promotions, attract attention, and still feel unworthy if your internal dialogue whispers inadequacy. On the other hand, you can be in the early stages of your journey, with visible results still forming, and feel deeply confident if your self-concept is aligned with expansion. Manifestation begins within identity. The beliefs you hold about your intelligence, your attractiveness, your capability, your deservingness of wealth and love. These beliefs emit frequency. This is why self-awareness becomes essential. How do you truly feel about your potential? When you imagine massive success, does excitement arise or does doubt surface? When you visualize financial freedom, do you feel deserving or hesitant? These emotional responses reveal your vibrational relationship with yourself. No one else can measure that. Only you can sense it honestly. Developing a strong self-concept is not about arrogance. It is about alignment. You are a deliberate creator, and your thoughts about yourself are among the most influential signals you send. If you constantly affirm, even silently, "I am not good enough," the law of attraction reflects experiences that confirm limitation. When you begin practicing self-empowering affirmations such as, "I am worthy of abundance," "I trust my abilities," "I attract aligned opportunities," you gradually reshape your identity at a vibrational level. The key is sincerity. Forced positivity without emotional resonance creates internal resistance. Instead, build belief incrementally. Acknowledge your strengths. Celebrate progress. Appreciate resilience. Gratitude directed toward yourself is just as powerful as gratitude directed toward external circumstances. Thank yourself for growth. Appreciate your willingness to learn. Recognize how far you have already come. These reflections elevate your emotional set point. Comparison is one of the strongest disruptors of self-alignment. In a diverse, co-creative universe, everyone operates from unique perspectives. When you measure your progress against someone else's timeline, you distort your vibration. Their journey is not calibrated to your desires or lessons. Your path is uniquely shaped by your experiences and preferences. Releasing comparison restores clarity. There will be moments when old insecurities surface. Perhaps criticism from someone triggers self-doubt. Perhaps a setback challenges your confidence. These experiences are not evidence that you are inadequate. They are opportunities to refine your self-concept. Pause. Ask yourself what you truly believe about your potential. Redirect your focus toward empowerment. Each time you choose self-compassion over self-criticism, you strengthen your vibrational foundation. Over time, something subtle yet powerful occurs. External validation loses its grip. Praise feels pleasant but not necessary. Criticism feels informative but not defining. Your internal alignment becomes the primary reference point. Decisions about career, relationships, and finances are guided by your emotional truth rather than external pressure. This self-trust radiates outward. People respond differently to someone who carries authentic confidence. Opportunities gravitate toward those who expect success. Love flows more naturally to those who feel worthy of it. The law of attraction mirrors your internal agreement with yourself. And in recognizing that only you can truly know how you feel about you, you reclaim authority over your vibrational offering. You understand that wealth, success, and fulfilling relationships are not granted by approval. They are attracted by alignment. As you continue refining your self-concept with gratitude, affirmations, and intentional thought, a deep steadiness anchors within you. From that steadiness, manifestation becomes less about proving yourself and more about expressing yourself. You no longer chase validation, you cultivate alignment. You no longer wait for permission, you trust your worth. And in that quiet confidence, your frequency becomes clear, coherent, and magnetic, reflecting back to you a world that matches the empowered way you have chosen to see yourself. Trying to hinder another's freedom always costs you your freedom. That empowered sense of self-worth naturally leads to another realization, one that can feel confronting yet liberating at the same time. The moment you attempt to control another person's path, you disconnect from your own alignment. In the world of manifestation and the law of attraction, freedom is not just a moral principle. It is vibrational truth. Every individual is a deliberate creator, guided by personal desires, personal expansion, personal contrast. When you try to limit someone else's choices, silence their dreams, or manipulate their outcomes, you introduce resistance into your own energy field. At first, control can feel protective. You may believe that guiding someone's behavior ensures your happiness, secures your relationship, stabilizes your finances, or guarantees your success. Yet beneath that impulse is fear. fear of loss, fear of inadequacy, fear that the universe will not deliver enough abundance unless you manage every variable. And fear lowers your vibrational frequency. The law of attraction mirrors not the action itself, but the emotional state behind it. If jealousy drives you to monitor someone's freedom, the vibration of insecurity expands. If resentment fuels criticism, more circumstances appear that justify resentment. Attempting to restrict another's success because it threatens your ego only amplifies scarcity consciousness. In trying to control, you surrender inner peace. Freedom, on the other hand, is expansive. When you allow others to pursue their desires, you affirm abundance. When you trust that their growth does not diminish yours, you align with infinite supply. In relationships, this means supporting individuality rather than demanding conformity. In business, it means celebrating competitors instead of resenting them. In friendships, it means encouraging authenticity rather than expecting validation. This does not imply passivity or tolerance of disrespect. Boundaries are different from control. Healthy boundaries arise from self-respect and clarity, not from fear. You can choose environments that feel aligned without attempting to reshape others to fit your comfort. That distinction preserves your vibration. Notice how your body feels when you release the need to manage someone else's journey. There is lightness. There is relief. Energy once spent monitoring, judging, or correcting becomes available for creation. That reclaimed energy fuels your affirmations, strengthens your gratitude practice, and sharpens your focus on personal growth. The universe is vast and magnificently diverse. Each person's desires contribute to collective expansion. When someone chooses a path different from yours, it is not a threat. It is contrast that clarifies your own preferences. Their freedom highlights your freedom. Their success expands possibility. Moments will arise when comparison tempts you, when someone's progress triggers insecurity. Instead of tightening your grip, soften your perspective. Remind yourself that abundance is not a limited resource. Wealth consciousness expands when celebrated. Love multiplies when shared. Opportunities increase when believed in. By releasing the urge to hinder another's autonomy, you restore your own. Your emotional guidance system becomes clearer because it is no longer distorted by external monitoring. You regain creative focus. Inspiration flows more easily. Manifestation accelerates because your energy is coherent rather than conflicted. Gradually, relationships transform. They feel lighter, more authentic. You attract people who respect your independence because you respect theirs. You become magnetic not through dominance, but through alignment. Freedom becomes a shared value rather than a contested space. In this state, gratitude deepens. You appreciate the diversity of perspectives around you. You acknowledge that every person's journey adds richness to the collective experience. And in granting others the right to expand in their own way, you feel your own expansion unfold effortlessly. What once felt like a need to control becomes a quiet confidence in universal flow. You trust that what is meant for you cannot be taken, and what aligns with your desires will arrive without force. As you continue refining your vibration through self-awareness, affirmation, and appreciation, freedom becomes both your gift to others and your gift to yourself. A spacious, steady energy where manifestation thrives naturally and success feels harmonious rather than competitive. You are only 17 seconds away from 68 seconds to fulfillment. Freedom restores your power, and once you feel that spaciousness within, something extraordinary becomes clear. Transformation does not require hours of effort or years of struggle. It can begin in a single focused moment. In fact, you are only seconds away from shifting your entire vibrational frequency. 17 seconds of pure, undivided thought is enough to ignite momentum. When that focused intention continues, when you sustain that elevated emotion, the law of attraction begins responding with amplified force. Consider how quickly worry builds when you dwell on it. One anxious thought invites another. And within moments your body reacts as though the feared outcome is already real. That is momentum in action. Now imagine applying that same principle consciously, deliberately, with empowerment instead of fear. 17 seconds of visualizing your dream job, feeling the pride, the excitement, the financial freedom. That initial focus activates a signal. Maintain it, and the signal strengthens. At around 68 seconds of sustained, emotionally charged focus, vibration gathers enough momentum to attract similar thoughts with remarkable speed. Inspiration flows more naturally. Ideas feel clearer. Confidence rises. This is not mystical exaggeration. It is the physics of energy alignment. Where attention goes, energy flows. Where emotion amplifies thought, manifestation accelerates. Yet the key is emotional authenticity. Idle repetition without feeling does not generate power. Affirmations must carry resonance. When you say, "I am attracting abundance," pause long enough to feel what abundance means to you. Security, generosity, freedom, impact. Let your nervous system experience that reality before it physically appears. That emotional rehearsal becomes the blueprint. Distraction is the only true obstacle. The modern world competes relentlessly for your focus, fragmenting your attention into scattered impulses. But your creative power strengthens in stillness. Close your eyes. Picture the life you are manifesting. See the details. Hear the conversations. Feel the gratitude as if the desire has already materialized. 17 seconds is brief, yet it is long enough to plant a powerful seed. As you practice, sustaining focus becomes easier. Your mind wanders less. Doubt interrupts less frequently. Instead of spiraling into old patterns of scarcity or self-criticism, you gently redirect. Each redirection strengthens your ability to consciously guide your vibrational offering. Gradually, you become deliberate rather than reactive. What makes this process profound is its accessibility. You do not need perfect circumstances to begin. You do not need validation. You do not need immediate proof. In any environment, at any time, you can choose a single empowering thought and hold it with intention. That choice shifts your frequency. That shift influences your next conversation, your next decision, your next opportunity. Momentum builds quietly. Perhaps you notice subtle improvements first: a calmer mood, a creative idea, an unexpected email, a chance meeting. These are echoes of your focused alignment. Continue practicing. Allow gratitude to anchor your focus. Appreciate small evidence of progress. Appreciation stabilizes vibration and extends those focused seconds into lasting confidence. Eventually, the practice feels less like effort and more like flow. You catch yourself thinking empowering thoughts automatically. You recover from setbacks faster. You feel anticipation rather than impatience. Manifestation becomes less about forcing outcomes and more about maintaining alignment long enough for the universe to organize cooperative components. And as you sit with that understanding, recognizing that transformation can begin in a single sustained moment, you sense how close fulfillment truly is. Not distant, not reserved for the lucky, just seconds away, waiting for focused attention, waiting for emotional conviction. In that quiet realization, possibility expands, and you feel the gentle pulse of creation responding, thought by thought, breath by breath, carrying you steadily toward the life you have already begun to imagine. The different degrees of your emotional guidance scale. As you begin to notice how quickly momentum builds from a single focused thought, another layer of awareness quietly reveals itself. Your emotions have been guiding you all along. Every feeling you experience, from deep joy to subtle irritation, is not random or inconvenient. It is guidance. It is your internal vibrational feedback system responding to the alignment between your thoughts and your true desires. When you feel appreciation, love, enthusiasm, or empowerment, you are in vibrational harmony with what you are asking for. Those high-frequency emotions signal alignment with abundance, success, financial freedom, and meaningful relationships. In those states, manifestation feels effortless because resistance is minimal. Ideas flow, confidence expands, opportunities appear naturally. Your energy is open, magnetic, and receptive. On the other hand, emotions such as frustration, doubt, jealousy, or fear are not punishments. They are indicators. They reveal that your current thoughts are temporarily misaligned with your broader intention. If you desire wealth yet constantly think about scarcity, the discomfort you feel is guidance pointing toward that contradiction. If you want love yet rehearse stories of betrayal, the emotional heaviness is feedback urging recalibration. Understanding this emotional guidance scale transforms how you interpret your moods. Instead of labeling certain feelings as bad or wrong, you begin seeing them as information. Discomfort becomes valuable. It highlights the gap between where your thoughts are and where your desires are calling you to move. The shift begins with awareness. Pause when emotion rises. Ask yourself what thought preceded it. Notice the narrative running in your mind. Often, a subtle belief is operating beneath the surface, a story about not being ready, not being chosen, not being capable. Once identified, that thought can be softened, reframed, or replaced with something more empowering. Movement along the scale does not require dramatic leaps. If you feel overwhelmed, reaching immediately for ecstatic joy may feel impossible. Instead, aim for relief. Relief is a powerful step upward. From relief, you can reach neutrality. From neutrality, optimism feels accessible. From optimism, enthusiasm grows naturally. Each upward shift strengthens your alignment with the law of attraction. Gratitude remains one of the most reliable tools for elevating emotion. Even in challenging circumstances, you can find one element worthy of appreciation, a lesson learned, a strength developed, a small blessing overlooked. That single acknowledgement lifts your vibration slightly. Consistency compounds that lift into lasting transformation. Over time, you become fluent in your emotional language. You recognize the early signs of resistance before they spiral. You redirect attention more quickly. You trust positive emotion as confirmation that you are on track. Manifestation practices like visualization, affirmations, meditation, and scripting become more effective because they are infused with genuine emotional alignment rather than forced positivity. Gradually, you realize that your power does not lie in controlling every external detail. It lies in managing your internal state. Your emotional set point determines your vibrational broadcast. Your vibrational broadcast shapes your reality. The scale is always available, quietly signaling your position and inviting you upward. There will still be moments of contrast. Expansion requires new desires, and new desires reveal new areas of growth. But now contrast feels purposeful rather than threatening. When disappointment arises, you listen. When inspiration sparks, you follow. Your emotions become trusted allies rather than unpredictable forces. And in this growing awareness, life begins to feel less chaotic and more responsive. You sense alignment building before physical evidence appears. You feel success approaching before it manifests. You understand that fulfillment is not a distant reward, but an ongoing calibration between thought and feeling. In that calm recognition, you breathe a little deeper. You no longer fear your emotions, you navigate them. You no longer question your creative power, you refine it. Guided by this inner scale, you continue forward, steady, intentional, and attuned, knowing that every feeling carries a message, and every aligned thought carries you closer to the reality you have been consciously shaping all along. Here we have completed part 1 of the book Ask, and it is given. Now, let's move forward to the most important part of the book, part 2. I am now introducing 22 proven processes that will improve your point of attraction. Process 1. The moment you decide to consciously improve your point of attraction, Everything begins with where your focus rests right now, and that is why Process 1, the rampage of appreciation, becomes such a powerful doorway into deliberate manifestation. Appreciation is not just polite gratitude. It is a high-frequency emotional state that instantly aligns you with abundance, wealth consciousness, success mindset, and the magnetic power of the law of attraction. When you deliberately begin speaking words of gratitude, out loud if possible, about anything that feels easy to appreciate, you shift your vibrational frequency within minutes. Start with what requires no effort: the comfort of the chair you are sitting on, the steady rhythm of your breathing, the roof above you, the simple fact that you are alive and capable of growth. Let your appreciation gather momentum. Move toward the people who have supported you, the skills you have developed, the opportunities that appeared exactly when you needed them. Allow your voice to carry warmth and sincerity. This is not forced positivity. It is intentional focus. As you continue this rampage of gratitude, something subtle yet powerful happens. Your body softens. Your thoughts become less resistant. Complaints lose their intensity. In that elevated emotional state, you are broadcasting a clear signal of abundance and alignment. The universe responds to that signal with matching experiences, ideas, and inspired action. What makes this process transformational is its immediacy. You do not need perfect circumstances to begin. Even in contrast, appreciation can be found. And as appreciation expands, your self-concept strengthens, your confidence grows, and your manifestation power accelerates. Stay with the feeling long enough, and you will notice that joy feels natural, optimism feels believable, and attracting your dream life feels less like effort and more like a harmonious flow already unfolding around you. Process 2, the magical creation box. As appreciation begins to raise your vibration and open your heart to greater abundance, the next step invites you to give your desires a physical place to land. And that is where Process 2, the magical creation box, becomes a powerful manifestation practice. This process blends visualization, intention setting, and the law of attraction into something tangible, something you can see and touch, reinforcing your belief that your dreams are not distant fantasies, but active creations in progress. Choose a simple box, any size, and dedicate it solely to your desires. On the outside, write words that activate your receiving mode. Phrases like, "Whatever I put in this box, the universe delivers," or "manifesting wealth, success, and love with ease." Then begin filling it with written intentions. These can be specific, such as, "I am attracting my dream job with financial freedom and growth," or expansive, like, "I welcome aligned opportunities and massive abundance into my life." Write them clearly, fold the paper, and place them inside with trust. This act is more than symbolic. It signals certainty. Instead of obsessing over how or when your desires will arrive, you release them into universal intelligence. You shift from control to allowance. Every time you add a new desire, feel gratitude as if it is already unfolding. Let excitement replace doubt. The box becomes a container of faith, strengthening your manifestation mindset and abundance consciousness. Over time, revisit it not with desperation, but with appreciation. Notice how many desires have quietly manifested. Each fulfilled intention deepens your belief, and belief accelerates attraction. With every note placed inside, you are practicing deliberate creation, training your focus toward possibility rather than limitation, and allowing the universe to organize cooperative components on your behalf in ways more magical than you could have planned alone. Process 3, the creative workshop. As your belief strengthens through intentional creation and trust, a natural desire arises to experience your manifestations more vividly, more emotionally, more deliberately, and that is where Process 3, the creative workshop, becomes a transformative visualization technique. This process invites you to step fully into the vibrational reality of your desires before they materialize, activating the law of attraction through focused imagination and emotional alignment. Set aside quiet time where distractions cannot interrupt your momentum. Close your eyes and consciously enter your inner workshop, a mental space where you are the architect of your dream life. Here, you are not hoping or wishing, you are experiencing. Visualize your financial freedom in detail, the numbers in your bank account, the confidence in your posture, the calm certainty in your decisions. See yourself thriving in your dream career, contributing meaningfully, receiving recognition, feeling fulfilled. Allow gratitude to rise as though these achievements are present now. This is not fantasy, it is vibrational rehearsal. Your subconscious mind does not sharply distinguish between imagined emotion and lived emotion. When you repeatedly feel the joy, excitement, and abundance of success, you condition your frequency to match it. Resistance softens, doubt weakens, confidence expands naturally. Stay in this creative space long enough for the emotion to stabilize. If limiting beliefs surface, gently replace them with empowering affirmations such as, "I am aligned with prosperity," or "opportunities flow toward me effortlessly." The goal is emotional immersion, not forced perfection. When you open your eyes, carry that elevated frequency into your actions. Decisions made from alignment are inspired rather than desperate. Through consistent practice, your inner workshop becomes a powerful manifestation accelerator, shaping your outer world through deliberate, joyful creation that feels not distant, but already unfolding in your favor. Process 4. Virtual reality. As your inner creative workshop becomes more vivid and emotionally real, you may begin to notice how easily your mind can step into imagined experiences, and that realization opens the door to process 4. Virtual reality. This practice deepens your manifestation power by allowing you to consciously construct scenes that feel so authentic, so emotionally charged, that your vibrational frequency shifts as if the desire has already unfolded. Find a quiet moment and deliberately project yourself into a future scenario where your goals have manifested. See yourself walking into your dream office, shaking hands with aligned partners, checking your thriving bank account, or celebrating milestones with the people you love. Hear the sounds around you. Feel the textures, notice the details. Let your senses participate fully. The more immersive the scene, the stronger the signal you send through the law of attraction. This is not escapism, it is energetic rehearsal. Your subconscious mind responds to repeated emotional imagery by normalizing it. When wealth feels familiar, it no longer feels distant. When success feels natural, it no longer feels intimidating. Doubt gradually dissolves because your nervous system begins to recognize abundance as safe and attainable. If resistance appears, gently adjust the scene until it feels believable and uplifting. The goal is emotional alignment, not perfection. Infuse your visualization with gratitude, as if you are already living the outcome. Whisper affirmations that anchor the experience. I am aligned with prosperity. I attract opportunities effortlessly. My dream life is unfolding now. Carry that elevated state into your day. Decisions made from this virtual reality perspective become inspired actions rather than forced efforts. With consistent practice, your imagined experiences begin influencing your physical reality, and the line between visualization and manifestation grows thinner, softer, until what once lived only in your mind begins quietly taking shape in the world around you. Process 5. The prosperity game. As your imagined reality begins to feel more natural and less like wishful thinking, it becomes easier to stretch your comfort zone around money. And that expansion is exactly what Process 5, the prosperity game, is designed to activate. This practice directly rewires your wealth consciousness by inviting you to play with abundance in a deliberate, structured way, dissolving scarcity mindset and strengthening your financial manifestation power. Imagine that on the first day you receive a specific sum of money, perhaps $1,000. Your task is simple. Decide how you would spend it. Write it down in detail. Feel the satisfaction of paying a bill with ease, investing in personal growth, purchasing something meaningful, or giving generously. The next day, the amount increases. Now you receive more. Again, choose how to allocate it. Continue daily, allowing the sums to grow steadily. What makes this manifestation technique powerful is not the arithmetic. It is the emotional calibration. At first, small amounts feel comfortable. As the numbers expand into larger figures, you may notice resistance, doubt, disbelief, even anxiety. Instead of stopping, breathe through it. Adjust your choices until excitement replaces tension. Let the idea of managing and enjoying substantial wealth begin to feel normal. The prosperity game trains your mind to see money as flow rather than struggle. It replaces fear with creativity. It encourages gratitude for abundance before it physically appears. Over time, large numbers stop feeling unrealistic and start feeling possible. When abundance feels safe and familiar, the law of attraction responds accordingly. Opportunities align. Inspired ideas emerge. Confidence around financial success strengthens naturally. By repeatedly engaging in this playful yet profound exercise, you shift your vibrational frequency toward prosperity, teaching your subconscious that wealth is not distant or intimidating, but available, expandable, and ready to circulate through your life with ease. Process 6. The process of meditation. As abundance begins to feel more natural and your relationship with prosperity softens, you may notice that your greatest breakthroughs do not come from doing more, but from allowing more. That subtle shift leads directly into Process 6, the process of meditation, a foundational manifestation practice that aligns your vibration without effort, without force, and without constant mental repetition. Sit comfortably in a quiet space and gently close your eyes. There is no need to visualize, no need to affirm, no need to solve problems. Simply focus on your breath or on a soft, neutral sound in the room. When thoughts arise, and they will, do not fight them. Let them pass like distant clouds drifting across a wide sky. Return gently to your point of focus. This is not about stopping thought. It is about reducing resistance. Meditation resets your vibrational frequency. When you quiet mental noise, you release momentum built from worry, doubt, and overthinking. In that stillness, your natural alignment reemerges. The law of attraction responds most powerfully when your energy is clear and steady, and meditation creates that clarity. As you practice daily, even for a few minutes, you begin to notice emotional stability strengthening. Reactions soften. Patience increases. Inspired ideas surface unexpectedly. Instead of chasing manifestations with urgency, you allow them space to unfold. Gratitude feels more accessible. Affirmations feel more believable because they arise from calm rather than desperation. In that quiet inner space, you are not trying to become abundant or successful. You are reconnecting with the version of you that already resonates with abundance and success. Meditation does not add anything new. It removes resistance. And as resistance dissolves, your natural prosperity, confidence, and clarity begin to flow effortlessly into the experiences waiting to meet you. Process 7. Evaluating dreams. As meditation clears resistance and restores your natural alignment, a deeper awareness begins to surface, especially in those quiet moments between sleep and waking, and that awareness opens the doorway to Process 7, evaluating dreams. Your dreams are not random mental noise. They are reflections of your vibrational state, subtle messages revealing how you truly feel about your desires, fears, success, and self-worth. When you wake from a dream, instead of dismissing it, pause and notice the emotion it carried. Was there anxiety, empowerment, confusion, excitement, limitation, freedom. The imagery itself is less important than the feeling tone. Dreams amplify momentum. If you have been focusing on abundance and wealth consciousness, you may notice dreams that feel expansive or victorious. If doubt or scarcity has been active, dreams may mirror those patterns. Rather than analyzing symbols in a rigid way, simply evaluate the emotional direction. Ask yourself whether the dream reflected alignment with your dream life or resistance toward it. This honest reflection strengthens your self-awareness and sharpens your manifestation mindset. It reveals subconscious beliefs that daytime affirmations may not yet have fully shifted. If a dream exposes fear of failure or rejection, gently use it as contrast. Clarify what you prefer instead. Speak affirmations that soothe the exposed insecurity. I am capable and supported. Success feels safe for me. Opportunities unfold effortlessly. By addressing emotional residue consciously, you prevent negative momentum from building unnoticed. Over time, you will see a pattern. As your vibration rises through gratitude, meditation, and visualization, your dreams soften and become more empowering. They begin reflecting growth, clarity, and confidence. In this way, your subconscious becomes an ally rather than a hidden saboteur. Through this practice, even your sleeping hours contribute to deliberate creation, quietly aligning your inner world so that your outer world can mirror the empowered life you are steadily and consciously bringing into form. Process 8. The Book of Positive Aspects. As your awareness deepens and you begin recognizing how even your dreams reflect your vibrational state, a powerful desire emerges to guide your thoughts more deliberately during waking hours. And that is where Process 8, the Book of Positive Aspects, becomes a transformative daily ritual. This practice is simple in structure yet profound in its impact on your manifestation power, abundance mindset, and emotional alignment. Choose a dedicated notebook and assign different pages to specific subjects: your career, your financial goals, your relationships, your body, your current home, even situations that feel challenging. On each page, begin writing only positive aspects about that subject. Stretch your focus intentionally. If it is your job, acknowledge the income it provides, the skills you are building, the connections you are forming. If it is a relationship, highlight moments of kindness, shared laughter, growth, or support. At first, the mind may resist, especially when contrast feels strong. But persistence shifts momentum. The law of attraction responds to dominant focus, and by deliberately emphasizing what is working, you elevate your vibrational frequency. Appreciation grows. Frustration softens. Possibilities expand. This is not denial of problems. It is strategic focus. When you consistently activate positive aspects, you recalibrate your emotional guidance system upward. Gratitude becomes easier. Optimism feels genuine. Your subconscious begins expecting improvement because you are training it to notice value. Over time, you will observe tangible shifts. Circumstances improve. Conversations flow more smoothly. Opportunities appear where tension once existed. By documenting positive aspects, you are reshaping your reality through conscious attention. With each page you fill, you are telling the universe and yourself that you are ready to experience more of what feels good, more of what aligns, more of what reflects the empowered, abundant life you are steadily and intentionally calling into being. Process 9. Scripting. As you become skilled at noticing positive aspects and deliberately guiding your focus, a new level of creative power opens when you begin shaping your future in written form. And this is where Process 9, Scripting, becomes a magnetic force in your manifestation journey. Words carry vibration. When you write with clarity and emotional conviction, you are not merely describing a future. You are energetically rehearsing it. Sit down with intention and begin writing about your life as if your desires have already unfolded. Describe your dream job in detail, the environment, the respect you receive, the financial freedom it provides. Write about your thriving business, your loving relationship, your confident self-image, your abundant bank account. Use present tense language. Let your sentences reflect certainty rather than hope. Instead of saying, "I will be successful," write, "I am grateful for the incredible success flowing into my life." As the pen moves, allow emotion to lead. Feel the pride of achievement. Feel the gratitude for opportunities. Feel the calm security of wealth consciousness. The law of attraction responds most powerfully when thought and emotion align, and scripting blends both seamlessly. If resistance appears, soften the language until it feels believable and uplifting. The goal is alignment, not exaggeration. Over time, your subconscious begins accepting this written reality as natural. Confidence strengthens. Inspired action feels obvious. Doubt loses momentum. Through consistent scripting, you train your mind to expect expansion. You shift from reacting to circumstances to directing them. Each page becomes a blueprint of abundance, a declaration of alignment, and a quiet agreement between you and the universe that the life you are describing is not distant or imaginary, but already unfolding in response to the clarity you have chosen to express. Process 10. The placemat process. As your scripting begins to feel natural and your written words carry the vibration of certainty, a quieter refinement becomes possible, one that gently separates what is yours to do from what is the universe's responsibility. And that is where process 10, the placemat process, shifts everything into greater ease. Manifestation does not require you to control every detail. It requires clarity of desire and trust in orchestration. Take a sheet of paper and draw a line down the center. On one side, write "my work." On the other, write "universe's work." Under your side, list actions that genuinely feel inspired and within your control. Updating your resume, improving your skills, making a phone call, practicing daily affirmations, managing your finances responsibly. Keep it practical and grounded. On the universe's side, list what you cannot micromanage: timing, other people's decisions, unexpected opportunities, perfect connections, sudden breakthroughs, aligned circumstances. Seeing this distinction on paper calms the nervous system. It reminds you that the law of attraction responds to your vibration, not your force. The relief that follows is powerful. Instead of chasing outcomes with urgency, you focus on alignment, gratitude, and inspired action. You release obsession over how your dream job will appear or how wealth will multiply. You trust that cooperative components are assembling beyond your awareness. When doubt creeps in, return to the page. Ask yourself whether you are trying to do the universe's job. Gently redirect your energy back to your column, your thoughts, your emotions, your mindset, your daily habits. That is your true creative power. In honoring this balance, manifestation becomes lighter. You act when inspired. You rest when needed. You appreciate progress. And in that partnership between intention and allowance, life begins to flow with less resistance and more quiet confidence, as if an unseen current is steadily guiding you toward the success you have already claimed vibrationally. Process 11. Segment intending. As you begin trusting the balance between your action and the universe's orchestration, your awareness naturally sharpens around the smaller pieces of your day. And this is where Process 11, Segment Intending, becomes a powerful tool for deliberate creation. Life does not unfold in one giant block. It moves in segments: a meeting, a commute, a conversation, a workout, a quiet evening alone. Each segment carries its own vibrational potential. Before stepping into any new activity, pause for a brief moment. Close your eyes if you can, or simply take a conscious breath. Ask yourself how you want this next segment to feel. Do you want clarity in that meeting? Confidence during that presentation? Ease and connection during that conversation? Set the intention deliberately. This interaction flows smoothly. I communicate with confidence and calm. aligned opportunities reveal themselves. This is not about controlling outcomes. It is about pre-paving vibration. By defining the emotional tone in advance, you activate the law of attraction within that specific window of time. Your focus shifts from reacting to circumstances to influencing them energetically before they unfold. The beauty of segment intending lies in its simplicity. It requires only seconds, yet those seconds recalibrate your frequency. Instead of walking into situations with unconscious expectations shaped by past experiences, you enter with conscious alignment shaped by desire. Gradually, your day transforms. Conversations feel lighter. Solutions appear faster. Even challenges feel manageable because your mindset is prepared. As this practice becomes habitual, you begin to see how powerful your attention truly is. Each segment becomes an opportunity to manifest success, abundance, and harmonious relationships in real time. And through these small, consistent calibrations, your entire day starts reflecting the empowered vibration you have chosen, one intentional moment flowing seamlessly into the next. Process 12. Wouldn't it be nice if? As you become more intentional with each segment of your day, you may notice that sometimes your desires feel just slightly out of reach, too big to affirm with certainty, too bold to claim without resistance. And that gentle tension is precisely where process 12, wouldn't it be nice if, becomes a bridge between doubt and belief. This practice softens your approach to manifestation by removing pressure and inviting possibility instead of forcing conviction. Rather than declaring, I am financially free, when part of you feels skeptical, begin with curiosity. Wouldn't it be nice if financial abundance flowed into my life effortlessly? Feel the subtle shift in your body. The statement carries openness instead of demand. It allows expansion without triggering inner argument. The law of attraction responds not to strained affirmations, but to relaxed, receptive vibration. Use this phrase throughout your day. Wouldn't it be nice if I received unexpected good news today? Wouldn't it be nice if my dream job opportunity appeared naturally? Wouldn't it be nice if my relationships felt harmonious and supportive? Each time you speak these words, you are gently nudging your mindset toward optimism and positive expectation. This approach builds momentum gradually. Curiosity evolves into hope. Hope grows into belief. Belief transforms into confident expectation. Without force, your vibrational frequency begins aligning with abundance, success, and aligned opportunities. Over time, you will notice synchronicities increasing. Small manifestations appear first: a helpful conversation, a surprising compliment, a new idea. These are evidence of shifting energy. Continue inviting possibility rather than demanding proof. Through this soft, yet powerful practice, you allow your desires to breathe. You replace resistance with imagination, tension with openness. And in that spacious state of wondering, the universe finds room to respond, arranging circumstances in quiet, surprising ways that feel less like struggle and more like life gently agreeing with the hopeful thoughts you have chosen to entertain. Process 13. Which thought feels better? As curiosity begins softening resistance and possibility feels lighter in your body, a deeper mastery unfolds when you realize that every moment offers a choice. And this is where process 13, which thought feels better, becomes a subtle yet powerful manifestation technique. The law of attraction does not respond to the loudest thought, but to the dominant emotional frequency behind it. And your emotions instantly reveal which direction you are moving. Throughout the day, thoughts arise automatically. Some carry doubt, comparison, or scarcity. Others carry hope, confidence, or gratitude. Instead of wrestling with negativity or pretending it does not exist, pause gently and ask yourself a simple question. Which thought feels better? If you are thinking, I will never reach financial freedom, notice the heaviness it creates. Then slightly adjust the thought. Many people have created wealth from where I am starting. Or, I am learning how to improve my income. Feel the shift. The improvement does not have to be dramatic. Even a small emotional lift indicates movement up your vibrational scale. Each better feeling thought strengthens your abundance mindset and trains your focus toward alignment. Over time, these small adjustments compound into powerful momentum. This process builds emotional intelligence and conscious creation simultaneously. Instead of reacting unconsciously to circumstances, you become the observer of your inner dialogue. You begin guiding your mindset deliberately, choosing optimism over pessimism, possibility over limitation. As this habit deepens, negative spirals shorten. Recovery becomes faster. Confidence feels steadier. You recognize that your power lies not in controlling events, but in selecting the thought that supports expansion. And in repeatedly choosing the thought that feels better, you steadily tune your vibration toward success, wealth, love, and the fulfilling life that has always been waiting for your alignment to catch up with your desire. Process 14. The process of clearing clutter for clarity. As you grow more skillful at choosing better feeling thoughts, you may begin to sense that your external environment also reflects your internal vibration, and this awareness naturally leads into process 14, the process of clearing clutter for clarity. Manifestation is not only mental and emotional, it is energetic, and physical clutter often mirrors mental resistance, unfinished decisions, or stagnant energy. Look around your space, your desk, your bedroom, your workspace, even your digital files. Notice what feels heavy or chaotic. Clutter subtly anchors you to the past, to indecision, to someday. When you begin clearing it intentionally, you are sending a powerful message to the universe. I am ready for expansion. I am ready for abundance. I am ready for new aligned opportunities. Start small. Choose one drawer, one shelf, one corner. As you sort through items, ask yourself whether each object aligns with the life you are manifesting. Does it represent growth, clarity, prosperity? Or does it hold outdated energy? Release what no longer resonates. Donate, recycle, organize with care. Feel the lightness as space opens. This is not merely tidying. It is vibrational alignment. When your surroundings feel intentional and clean, your mind mirrors that clarity. Decisions become easier. Focus sharpens. Inspired action flows more naturally. Gratitude increases because you begin appreciating the space you have created. Clearing clutter also strengthens your abundance mindset. Letting go of excess proves to your subconscious that you trust more is coming. You are no longer clinging from scarcity. You are allowing flow. As physical space expands, so does emotional and mental space. Fresh ideas enter. Opportunities seem to appear unexpectedly. In that clean, intentional environment, you feel ready, not desperate, not rushed, simply ready to receive the manifestations you have been aligning with, as if your outer world has finally made room for the success already forming within. Process 15, the wallet process. As your space becomes clearer and your energy feels lighter, your relationship with money itself begins asking for refinement. And this is where process 15, the wallet process, gently transforms scarcity into abundance consciousness. Money carries emotion. For many, opening a wallet triggers tension, limitation, or silent calculation. This process shifts that reaction into confidence and expansion. Place a significant bill in your wallet, one large enough to feel substantial, even if you never spend it. Let it represent financial freedom and overflow. Each time you open your wallet, instead of focusing on what is leaving, consciously notice what is there. Feel appreciation for your ability to purchase what you need. Acknowledge the flow of money through your life. When you spend, shift the narrative. Rather than thinking, money is gone, say internally, I have more than enough, and money circulates back to me multiplied. This subtle affirmation rewires your financial mindset. The law of attraction responds not to the transaction, but to the emotional vibration behind it. If bills once triggered anxiety, this practice slowly replaces that reaction with stability. You begin seeing money as energy, as movement, not as loss. Gratitude replaces fear. Confidence replaces hesitation. Over time, something profound shifts. You feel wealth before it visibly expands. Opportunities related to income, business growth, or career advancement begin appearing naturally because your vibration no longer repels them with doubt. By honoring money with appreciation and intention, you signal readiness for more. And in that quiet moment, each time your wallet opens, you are not just handling currency. You are affirming abundance, strengthening your prosperity mindset, and aligning yourself with the steady, expanding flow of financial success that has always been available to you. Process 16. Pivoting. The awareness you cultivated about money, energy, and emotional vibration now opens the door to something even more powerful. Because once you recognize that every feeling signals your point of attraction, you realize you are never stuck. You are simply one thought away from alignment. And this is where process 16, pivoting, becomes a life-changing manifestation technique. In every moment, contrast exists. You know what you do not want. You feel it immediately. A delayed payment, a disagreement, a missed opportunity, the emotional guidance system activates. Instead of resisting the discomfort or spiraling into negative thinking, you consciously pivot. You acknowledge the unwanted experience and gently ask yourself, what do I want instead? That single question shifts your vibration. If you think, I don't want financial stress, you pivot to, I am attracting financial abundance and passive income with ease. If the thought arises, I feel overlooked, you turn it toward, I am valued, respected, and recognized in my career and relationships. This is deliberate creation. This is conscious manifesting. The law of attraction responds to the direction of your focus, not the volume of your complaints. Pivoting does not deny reality. It redirects energy. It transforms frustration into clarity. It converts contrast into expansion. Every unwanted moment becomes a launching pad for a clearer desire. With practice, pivoting becomes automatic. You begin catching negative self-talk before it deepens. You choose empowering affirmations instead of limiting beliefs. Gratitude slips in naturally because you understand that even challenges refine your vision of success, wealth, love, and purpose. Over time, your emotional baseline rises. You feel more in control of your mindset. You experience more synchronicities. Opportunities align because your dominant vibration is solution-focused rather than problem-focused. And gradually, almost quietly, you notice that life feels lighter because you are no longer reacting unconsciously. You are consciously shaping your reality, one redirected thought at a time, flowing steadily toward the abundant, fulfilling life you have always been meant to create. Process 17. The focus will process. As pivoting becomes natural and you grow skilled at redirecting negative thoughts into empowering affirmations, there are moments when the emotional gap between where you are and where you want to be still feels wide. And in those moments, process 17, the focus will process, offers a structured path back into alignment, gently guiding your vibration step by step toward belief, clarity, and deliberate manifestation. Imagine drawing a circle, placing your desired statement in the center, something that feels slightly out of reach yet deeply wanted, such as, I am financially abundant and attracting wealth effortlessly, or I am confident, successful, and aligned with my purpose. If that statement feels too far from your current emotional reality, the mind resists. The law of attraction responds to belief, not force. So instead of jumping straight to certainty, you build a bridge. Around the circle, you write thoughts that feel believable and better than where you began. Thoughts like, many people have improved their financial situation, or I have handled challenges before and grown stronger. where opportunities are always circulating. Each statement raises your vibration incrementally. Each sentence is a stepping stone across emotional resistance. As you move around the wheel, you feel the shift. Doubt softens. Tension releases. What once felt impossible begins to feel plausible, and plausible becomes probable. This is how mindset transformation truly works, not through blind positivity, but through progressive alignment. The focus wheel strengthens your manifestation practice because it honors emotional honesty while guiding you toward empowerment. It refines your point of attraction. It trains your focus toward abundance, self-worth, success, and gratitude. And by the time your thoughts naturally echo the statement in the center with ease and conviction, you realize something powerful has happened. You have moved your vibration consciously, and in doing so, you have quietly set the universe in motion to reflect that new belief back to you in tangible, extraordinary ways. Process 18. Finding the feeling place. After guiding your thoughts into alignment with clarity and belief, something deeper begins to call you forward, because beyond words, beyond affirmations, beyond even structured visualization, there exists the emotional core of manifestation. And this is where process 18, finding the feeling place, becomes the quiet turning point in your deliberate creation journey. Every desire you hold, financial freedom, career success, loving relationships, vibrant health, carries an emotional essence. What you truly want is not the money itself, but the freedom it represents. Not the title, but the confidence. Not the applause, but the sense of worthiness. So instead of focusing solely on the physical outcome, you close your eyes and ask yourself, how would I feel if this were already mine? Perhaps it feels expansive, secure, empowered, peaceful, excited. Let that feeling rise without needing the evidence yet. Allow your body to register the sensation of abundance flowing through you. Let gratitude bloom as if the manifestation has already arrived. This is emotional alignment. This is vibrational matching. The law of attraction responds most powerfully to feeling because emotion is frequency. When you sustain the feeling place of wealth, appreciation, and confidence, you tune yourself to opportunities that mirror that state. Synchronicities unfold. Inspired ideas surface. Action feels intuitive rather than forced. At first, holding that elevated emotion may require intention. The mind may drift back to current circumstances. Gently return to the feeling. Practice it like strengthening a muscle. Over time, the feeling becomes familiar, natural, stable. And in that familiarity, something profound happens. You stop chasing manifestations. You begin embodying them. You walk through the world carrying the emotional signature of success and fulfillment within you, and life begins reflecting that inner state with remarkable precision, as though the universe has always been waiting for you to feel it first. Process 19. Releasing resistance to become free of debt. As you begin embodying the emotional signature of abundance and financial freedom, another layer naturally rises to the surface, because when you hold the feeling of prosperity yet still carry tension around unpaid balances or financial obligations, that subtle resistance asks to be softened. And this is where process 19 gently guides you into true liberation from debt consciousness. Debt is rarely just numbers on a statement. It is often wrapped in guilt, fear, self-judgment, and anxiety about money. Each time you think, I owe so much, the vibration of lack becomes active. The law of attraction responds faithfully to that focus, not as punishment, but as reflection. So instead of fighting the debt or criticizing yourself for it, you begin shifting the story. Rather than declaring, I am buried in debt, you soften the resistance with a thought like, I am in the process of improving my financial situation, or money is flowing to me in increasing amounts. This is not denial. It is vibrational recalibration. You acknowledge the current reality without amplifying its emotional weight. Gratitude becomes a powerful tool here. Appreciate the services, education, home, or opportunities those financial exchanges once provided. Recognize that debt itself reflects past support, not present failure. When appreciation replaces resentment, your emotional frequency rises. From that elevated state, inspired action becomes clearer. You may feel guided toward budgeting wisely, increasing income streams, developing new skills, or starting a business aligned with your passion. These actions feel empowered rather than desperate because they are rooted in alignment instead of fear. Over time, as resistance dissolves, relief replaces pressure. You notice small financial wins. Unexpected resources appear. Momentum builds. What once felt overwhelming begins to feel manageable, then solvable, then distant. And gradually, almost surprisingly, the energy around money transforms from heaviness to hope, from anxiety to expectation, until financial freedom no longer feels like a distant dream, but like a natural extension of the abundant, self-assured vibration you now carry within you. Process 20. Turning it over to the manager. As financial pressure softens and resistance begins dissolving, you may notice something surprising. The more you try to control every detail of manifestation, the heavier it can feel. And in that moment of mental strain, Process 20 invites you into a different posture altogether, one of trust, surrender, and powerful co-creation through turning it over to the manager. Imagine that there is a wise inner manager, your higher self, your inner guidance system, the vibrational intelligence aligned with the law of attraction, constantly aware of your desires for wealth, success, meaningful relationships, and purpose-driven achievement. This manager sees the bigger picture. It understands timing. It orchestrates synchronicities beyond your conscious planning. Instead of obsessively figuring out how every goal will unfold, you deliberately say, "I've done my part by asking clearly. Now I allow the universe to handle the details." This is not passivity. It is energetic alignment. It releases anxiety while strengthening belief. When worry about money, career advancement, or life direction surfaces, you visualize placing that concern into the hands of this capable inner manager. You breathe. You affirm, "Everything is working out for me. I am supported. Opportunities are aligning behind the scenes." In that letting go, tension loosens its grip. The law of attraction responds to certainty and expectation, not force. By turning challenges over to a broader intelligence, you step out of resistance and into flow. Inspired ideas begin arriving naturally. Helpful people appear. Solutions reveal themselves without struggle. Over time, confidence replaces urgency. You still take action, but it feels guided, intuitive, calm. Manifestation becomes less about effort and more about alignment. You realize that you were never meant to carry every outcome alone. And in that quiet trust, as you release the need to micromanage the universe, you feel something deeply reassuring. You are supported in ways you cannot always see, and life is gently organizing itself to meet you exactly where your belief now allows it to unfold. Process 21. Reclaiming one's natural state of health. As trust deepens and you begin releasing control to a wiser inner guidance, attention gently turns toward the body, the physical expression of your vibration, because true abundance is incomplete without vibrant health, sustained energy, and emotional well-being. And this is where Process 21 becomes a powerful return to balance through reclaiming one's natural state of health. The body is not your enemy, nor is it fragile by design. At its core, it is guided by intelligence, constantly reaching toward healing, equilibrium, and vitality. Yet when fear, stress, and chronic negative focus dominate the mind, resistance forms within the body. The law of attraction responds to those thoughts just as faithfully as it does to financial desires. So instead of amplifying symptoms with worry, you begin shifting attention toward wellness. Rather than repeating, "I feel unwell," you soften the narrative to, "My body knows how to restore itself," or well-being is my natural state. These affirmations are not denial, they are alignment. You begin appreciating small signs of strength, steady breath, a heartbeat, the resilience that has carried you through years of living. Gratitude for what is working becomes more powerful than fixation on what feels off. Visualization supports this shift. Imagine cells regenerating. Picture energy flowing freely. Feel the emotional relief of waking up refreshed and strong. As you sustain that feeling place of vitality, your vibration harmonizes with health. Over time, tension reduces. Choices improve naturally, nourishing food, restorative sleep, mindful movement. These actions arise from alignment rather than fear. Healing becomes less about fighting illness and more about allowing wellness. And gradually, as appreciation replaces anxiety and trust replaces resistance, you begin sensing something steady and reassuring within you. A quiet, unwavering current of life moving toward balance, reminding you that well-being has always been your original, natural state. Process 22. Moving up the emotional scale. As your trust in well-being strengthens and you begin recognizing health, wealth, and success as natural extensions of alignment, you start noticing something even more fundamental shaping every manifestation: your emotional frequency. And this is where process 22, moving up the emotional scale, becomes the master key to conscious creation. Every emotion carries a vibration. From discouragement to hope, from frustration to optimism, from appreciation to joy. Each feeling represents a specific point of attraction within the law of attraction. Instead of demanding instant positivity when you feel low, you gently reach for the next better feeling thought. This is not about leaping from despair to euphoria. It is about gradual elevation. If you feel overwhelmed, reach for relief. If relief feels distant, aim for neutrality. From neutrality, reach for possibility. From possibility, lean into belief. From belief, allow enthusiasm. This upward movement is subtle but powerful. Each improved emotion shifts your mindset, and each shift recalibrates your vibrational frequency. You begin observing your thoughts with awareness rather than judgment. Negative self-talk becomes a signal, not an identity. You understand that feeling stuck does not mean you are stuck. It simply indicates where you stand on the scale. And from wherever you are, upward movement is always available. Gratitude accelerates this ascent. Appreciation for small victories, for progress, for lessons learned raises your energetic state. Affirmations feel more authentic as you climb. Manifestation practices become easier because resistance fades. Over time, you notice that your baseline emotion has changed. You feel lighter more often. Opportunities appear with greater consistency. Synchronicities feel natural. You respond to challenges with resilience instead of fear. And standing there, aware of how far you have traveled internally, you sense something steady and empowering. The understanding that your emotional guidance has always been leading you upward, patiently, faithfully, toward a life of abundance, clarity, health, and fulfillment that now feels not only possible, but inevitable. What began as a simple curiosity about manifestation has now unfolded into something far more intimate. A realization that the law of attraction is not a distant mystical force, but a living principle responding to every thought, every belief, every emotion you practice each day. And as you stand at this point in the journey, you can feel that the true transformation was never outside of you, but always within your vibration. Through affirmation, gratitude, visualization, emotional alignment, and deliberate manifestation practices, you have seen how wealth consciousness replaces scarcity, how appreciation dissolves resistance, how focus reshapes reality, and how moving up the emotional scale changes not only what you attract, but who you become in the process. Each technique was never about controlling the universe. It was about mastering your inner world. Because your mindset is your magnet. Your frequency is your point of attraction. Your feelings are the signal that shapes your future. There will still be contrast. There will still be moments that challenge your belief. Yet now you understand that contrast is expansion. A setback becomes clarity. A delay becomes refinement. A doubt becomes an invitation to reach for a better feeling thought. Instead of reacting unconsciously, you pause. You pivot. You align. And in that alignment, manifestation becomes natural. Financial abundance begins as a vibration before it becomes numbers in an account. Career success begins as self-belief before recognition arrives. Loving relationships begin as self-worth before partnership appears. Everything external mirrors the internal state you consistently practice. This is the quiet power you now carry. The ability to consciously choose your thoughts, elevate your emotional frequency, and trust the unfolding. Imagine moving forward from this moment with that awareness steady within you. Waking each day with gratitude already present. Speaking affirmations that feel authentic and energized. Taking inspired action instead of forced action. Releasing control and allowing synchronicity to surprise you. This is not fantasy. This is alignment in motion. The universe has never withheld your desires. It has always responded precisely to your dominant vibration. And now, equipped with clarity, emotional guidance, and practical manifestation tools, you move differently. You observe your feelings as guidance. You celebrate small evidence of abundance. You trust that what you have asked for is already forming. As this journey gently settles into your awareness, carry one simple practice with you. Speak kindly to yourself. Choose thoughts that empower. Reach for gratitude when doubt appears. Let your emotional guidance lead. That is how dreams become tangible. That is how success becomes sustainable. That is how fulfillment becomes your baseline. If this experience has added value to your path, receive this moment with appreciation and share that energy forward. Like, share, and subscribe to CliffNote Chronicles so more seekers can discover these timeless manifestation principles in upcoming audiobooks. And before you leave, write down one positive affirmation for yourself, something that feels expansive and true, and let it mark the beginning of your next level of abundance. Now breathe in the awareness that you are a deliberate creator, breathe out resistance, and step forward knowing that what you ask, aligned with belief and gratitude, is already making its way to you.